coaches. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's doing breath work. It's calisthenics. He's also doing a yoga instructor, been to Nepal and done all his training and everything out there. Fucking really interesting dude to speak to. We discussed an hour and a half worth of time, and then we ended up going for like 2.5 hours. I was like, mate, we'll end up going for 5 hours here if we don't stop. So I kind of had to reel it in a little bit, but
those are the best kind of interviews when that chemistry just clicks. Then it's perfect,
and it just the conversation was flowing, and that's what I'm aiming to do with these things. I don't want it to be this. I'm not a professional dude. I'm just a normal fucking guy that just wants to speak to people, mate. So that's where I'm going with this one. But anyway. What's happening, people? Rambling Dad podcast. My second guest of the day, Patrick Mccorry. What I normally do, mate, is I normally actually say episode, whatever. But my cousin just made a damn good fucking point, right? So he's taught. I'm going to release them. I don't want to overdump these interviews with people onto the Twitter feed and everything, and just nobody get interested or overload people with them. So I was just wanting to kind of spread them out. And then my cousin was like, "Then why are you numbering them?" And he was like, "Because you're going to end up putting the number out there. And then they're all going to be out of order." And I'm like, that's actually a fucking damn good point. That. So I'm not saying a number on this one, and I'll put what episode it is when I actually put it up, because I need a because I've already done 2 now, and I've actually just fucked up my whole cycle of episode this, episode that, because I've declared it as the pod started. But anyway, welcome, mate. Nice to finally fucking see you face to face, kind of over a screen, and get to talk to you. So what's happening, bro? How's your day been?
Day's been good, man. Thanks for having me. We've been chatting on Twitter for a long time, just having banter back and forth. And then, you invited me on the show. I'm excited to be here. I love doing podcasts. I love talking about fights. I don't talk about myself often. It always feels weird when, like, I did an interview a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, I'm talking about myself. Normally, I'm the guy asking questions. It doesn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I'm like, no, this is my job.
That's so I've been invited onto a couple now, and that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, what am I actually going to say? Like, what fucking type of questions are they going to ask you? I mean, where's it going to go with that? It's going to be a bit weird being on the other side of it. But what I do like to do with people, and I suppose it's more of a bit of learning for podcasting too, mate, is like, sometimes I feel like I kind of butt in, but it's because I'm so engaged with what they're telling me, and I've got a shared experience that I want to put across to them as well. And I'm always like, oh, sorry, mate, we just jump. Yeah, I've experienced that, and I'll tell them a little bit of a story of whatever I've gone through. You know what I mean? But at times I feel like I kind of need to reel that back in a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want to be cutting people off whilst they're talking and stuff, but it's all learning. You know what I mean? I've been doing this now for 2 months, so.
Exactly. You'll pick it up. I've been doing it for 3 years, and I still have to reel myself back in. So.
So mate, let's fucking start off with that banger of a card at the weekend. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I was insane from start to finish. Early prelims all the way. I know people that don't normally watch the early prelims that did tune in this time, and they're like, fucking first time I've done it in ages, and I'm glad I did. You know what I mean? Like, except from the first fight was still a banger, but went to 3 rounds. After that, mate, it was just finish after finish. It was unbelievable. We could just go from some standout performances if you want. If you want to just like start going back down, let me just get it up on my phone so I don't fuck it up.
I've got some of mine that, I did Instagram live yesterday, and I've been talking about the card a lot. I mean, just number one, like early prelims, Jesus Aguilar. I mean, who expected that knockout? Shout out to my friend Cade. He was betting on the card, and he said there's no chance Jesus Aguilar knocks him out. He's never knocked anyone out. And we're like, dude, Shannon Ross, as all respect to him, he doesn't have the best chin. Yeah. And 17 seconds in, he gets knocked out. I mean, I think that shot would have knocked out any flyweight.
I know, mate.
I screamed so loud, and we all just hopped on our group chat, and we're all just spamming him like, dude, what the heck? You told us he was not going to get knocked out.
I've just lost 50 quid, you muppet. Yeah, I mean,
exactly,
do you know what was actually funny about that? So I had one of my mates, Sean MMA 9, I think, on Twitter. And we had literally just stepped outside to have a smoke, and like, as you can see it here, but I've got it blurred on OBS. I've got the blurred background and all the rest of it. These blinds, they'll go all the way up, so we put them all the way up. We can still see the TV through it. Literally stepped outside, sparked the ciggy, and then fucking turned and looked through the window, and I was just like, oh my god. Like, it was, I just caught it. I was like, mate, if I didn't turn around there, that fight was over and I would have missed it completely. I was like, holy shit. Just ran out and sparked him straight away, mate. It was fucking insane.
The way that fight started, though, like, it looked like, there's going to be like a little more trading. It's going to take a while to get into it. I felt like, Shannon Ross, I feel bad for him in the way that he hasn't had success in the UFC. Dana White Contender Series. He got knocked out by Vinicius Salvador. and then they sign him to the Perth card, and because his fight was so good on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
But people forget on the Contender Series, he got sat down 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in, he gets knocked down in 59 seconds in the UFC. By the way, Clayton Rodriguez, great fighter, but then getting knocked down in 17 seconds, I just feel really bad for him. I think he was trying to get that fight to go a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unfortunate, but that shot would have knocked out anyone. I think it would have knocked me out ice cold. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be here doing this interview if I got knocked.
And a fucking an average man, it would probably have put them in the hospital. You know what I mean? It was one hell of a fucking dig, like so. And you've got a better fight retention than me, mate. Remembering things from Dana White Contender Series and all the rest of it. Fucking, I struggle. You know what I mean? Like, then I'm getting a bit better at it. The more that I do this, and the more that I talk about them, and the more I speak to people about it. You know what I mean? But fuck, I actually need to go back onto things and have a little scroll through. Like, so I'm gonna do my post-fight, pre-fight podcast, like my little solo one tomorrow. I'm gonna slide that in there somewhere. But like tonight, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna rewatch the fights again. I'm gonna take some notes just to make sure that I'm on the money and I'm not just gonna be like slavering a load of shite, really. You know what I mean? So obviously after that one, Simon with the TKO and that. So you know what I mean? And early prelims, I get it, and then submission after that one, and it was just like, mate, what is going on?
It's packed. Yeah, it was. With the Simon one, I was talking about it yesterday. I want to see him have a step up in competition because like you look at who he's fought. He fought a debuting guy on his first fight. I haven't seen them fight since. The next guy he fought got cut after that fight and then lost.
Martinez.
Mana Martinez, exactly. Yeah. And this fight, Terrence Mitchell got knocked out by Kai Kara-France on The Ultimate Fighter, 8 years ago? I haven't heard a peep of his name since. I don't know. I didn't really look into what he's done. But it was just kind of strange to see him back in the UFC setting. And yeah, that fight went about as expected. I mean, to be fair, I didn't expect Simon to get taken down. But as soon as Simon reversed the takedown, turned it around, Terrence kind of gave up. He just shelled up and was like, no, I can't win anymore.
Yeah, he literally just curled up in a ball, like fetal position, didn't he? He was just like taking it. He was like, Sam, take the damage, game over, fine. That'll be it. Yeah. Let's move back up to the main card and let's just go from there, man. Let's go with the headliner of the prelims. We cannot fucking miss Nico Price and Robbie Lawler, mate. Jesus Christ. I was thinking what type of mindset is Lawler going to come and have when he's walking in there. I'm not sure if you've checked out the Arnie interview yet. But I even said to him, I was like, walking in there, announcing that you're going to retire before you walk in and you go, because some of them are like, it depends how this fight's going to go, depends if I'm going to retire or not, and they keep that to themselves. Yeah, I mean, if they lose the fight, the gloves can go down or whatever. Some of them are probably already thinking about it, but they haven't publicly announced it. But he had it all done, said, I mean, this is the last one. Once this is done, big hurrah, adios, see you later. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, what type of mindset is that going to put onto a man as he's walking in there? Clearly, it shows the don't give a fuck mindset. I'm going to go in there, and I'm just going to go out, I mean, swinging. And it was fucking phenomenal, man.
No, it was really great, and I would say it's the greatest MMA retirement ever. I don't know if you agree with that. Just the way they did the promo and everything. But at the same time, I saw a lot of people say, oh, why didn't they do that for Cowboy? Why didn't they do that for such and such?
Yeah.
They didn't know they were retiring, so they couldn't get that stuff out, right?
Yeah.
So like with Cowboy, we all kind of anticipated his retirement, but we didn't know that he was going to retire after the Jim Miller fight.
Yeah.
He retires. They don't have a video package prepared. We didn't know Glover was going to retire after he lost to Jamal Hill. And also, they both got finished. Glover got dominated. So, I don't know. If I were a fighter and I got beaten up, right, I wouldn't want to sit there and watch a highlight reel after just getting my face smacked in for 25 minutes.
Would you fuck?
So, it's a weird one. And obviously, the way he did it was the most Robbie Lawler retirement ever. Beautiful clinch work, hooks, uppercuts, puts him out cold.
Bit of dirty boxing and just flopped him onto his knees, man.
A walk-off KO. It was perfect. And not gonna lie, I shed a tear during the retirement. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, even outside of that, without even considering the video and everything they put up, highlight reels, all the rest of it, and celebrated his career, just that finish alone was exceptional. Yeah, I mean, and just walking in there and getting the job done as quick, because I massively favorite was Nico Price. Yeah, I mean, I thought Nico was going to take it too.
Minus 200, and it was just a perfect way to cap off a legendary career. The tail end of his career didn't go to plan. He fought a lot during competition. I think people underrate that. I mean, he fought guys like Colby Covington and a lot of talented guys, and yeah, I mean, Neil Magny is also a really tough matchup for a guy who's not used to that kind of work. Like, Neil Magny is dare I say, underrated in certain
huge.
regards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Robbie Lawler is, I nearly said it on a podcast the other day. I nearly said Robbie Lawler is the greatest welterweight of all time, and then I caught myself and I realized George St. Pierre is up there, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I love Robbie Lawler, and I'm glad like he didn't take a huge amount of damage in his tail end. I know he lost to Brian Barberena, which was a weird TKO. And he came back, and I thought he was going to retire after that one. He comes back a year later, knocks him out. It was perfect.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Cannot knock it at all. And what a way to go. So obviously moving on to the main card, we've had Bo Nickel, mate, and fucking Val Woodburn. I don't know about you. I don't know if you'd seen any of Val Woodburn's previous fights, any of the stuff that he'd been through in the past. I hadn't. I never knew a single fucking thing about him, if I'm honest with you. So going in there, it was a blank sheet for me. I've seen people saying he could put him out if he catches him or whatever, but we've never really seen Bo in that kind of trouble before, you know what I mean? But for him to walk out there and just throw hands, man, and connect with the power that he did was like, wow.
Yeah, the thing with Val Woodburn is I didn't watch much before that fight, and I class myself as a MMA hardcore. I watch loads of fights, but I didn't really watch anything. I saw a couple clips, but the thing that stuck out to me was Val Woodburn had power, and I thought, Bo Nickel, sometimes he tends to stand in front of people sometimes, but then he has the threat of the takedown, so it makes fighters nervous, and that's exactly what happened with Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn, when he came in, he didn't rush, right? He kind of sat back. He was like, okay, anticipate the takedown. And what shows with Bo Nickel is he could read that. He'd be like, I have this takedown threat, but I can also knock people out cold.
Yeah.
So he baits him in with the takedown, has him constantly thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first shot he landed was a left hook. He dips, and Val Woodburn drops his hands, and then the left hook comes up, and it wobbles him. And that was at that point. He was slick. He dodged the punches, and then I mean, a guy with Bo Nickel's level of wrestling, and now he has knockout power. This is a scary time for middleweight. But right. Just like as I said before, with God, I can't remember the fighter now. Is he needs to step up in competition? Jamie Pickett and Val Woodburn, all respect to them, it's not the high level competition for me to say, oh, he could be a champion.
Yeah.
And I said it before. If you want to give him a push, you could do him versus Jack Hermanson. Top 10 guy, a guy who will test him, but also has his faults in that way.
It's not quite a way up fight, but it's something to walk into and find your feet.
Exactly. And if they were to push him into a fight with like Sean Strickland, that would be a different story. But
100%.
Sean Strickland, I think, again, underrated fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird one. Bo Nickel, I don't know what he's gonna do now. I don't know who he's gonna fight. Jack Hermanson fight is one that definitely interests me.
Yeah, that'd be a banger. Like I can't disagree with that one. Like, so obviously somebody else on that card was getting a lot of fucking shit in the build up to it. Washed, people were calling him, and all sorts of the Australian the New Zealand Charles Oliveira. You know who I'm going there with. Fucking Dan Hooker.
Yes,
come
Dan
in with
Hooker,
the blonde hair.
I love Dan.
One hell of a career, one hell of a fighter. I mean, I had my little dig as well. Like I've already said this on the podcast with somebody else. I put up there saying a bunch of killers and Dan Hooker. You know what I mean, just for shits and gigs. Though, no disrespect to the man. He's fucking phenomenal. Not my ass out anyway. And to find out afterwards that he actually broke his arm in the middle of it because
he broke his orbital. Did you see the orbital break he had?
Oh no, I never seen the orbital break.
I put on my story. I can make. I'll try and show it to the camera. And here, so what he said after the. Can you see that?
Hold it there a second. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can see the break. Mm-hmm.
In the cheekbone or in the orbital kind of area. But I love what he said at post fight. He said, "Tough times don't last. Dan Hooker does." Perfect quote. Capped Dan Hooker perfectly. That is Dan Hooker. He take your shot. That head kick that landed. It sounded like someone took a baseball bat to his skull and
fucking
just.
Did, didn't it?
I tried to explain it to my mom. She was like, "Oh my god, that's awful."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "No, it was awesome." Like he's
how the fuck he walked away from that? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you've seen lesser head kicks drop bigger men. For fuck's sake, like it was fucking insane. And like in the first round, he looked like he was gonna get beat. Yeah, I mean the way the first round was going, and then he came back round 2, round 3, and just absolutely fucking put it on him. It was an incredible performance, and I'm glad to see him back in the winning bracket, and it's good. And I think today they released the rankings. He's now 10th in the rankings as well. So
that's a fair ranking. And I said this before. Dare I say, Dan Hooker could be a title challenger in the not so distant future. And I say that because he beats Jalen Turner, right? That's a big win. I think that's an underrated win. And now he's top 10, as you said. I would have thought he would get the number 11 ranking. I've got the rankings here. A fight I would like to see, because Beneil Dariush needs to step back.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker versus Beneil Dariush is a great fight. I don't know how long Dan Hooker's going to be out. I don't know how long Beneil's going to be out. I know he's been rumored against Arman Tsarukyan.
Right,
okay, fair enough. If you really want to do something, this is maybe too far. If Justin Gaethje loses to Dustin Poirier, Gaethje versus Hooker, fight night in New Zealand, in America, I don't care where.
Yeah.
Tune it, please. Like, that is the perfect fight, I feel like.
Fireworks. All, I mean, one of them's going to sleep at the end of that one anyway. I mean, that's never making it to
zero chance. Zero chance that's not a fight of the year candidate. Like, no chance.
But I think it also depends on how much damage he takes from the Poirier fight. If Gaethje's going to go in there, I mean, because those two, no one's going in and getting a flash knockout within the first 5 seconds, are they? I mean, it's going to be a fucking war. And are they 3 or 5 rounds? Are they co-main? Are they main event? No, they're main event, aren't they?
Their main event for the BMF title.
So they'll be 5. Yeah.
And dare I say, I think Justin Gaethje beats Dustin Poirier.
You reckon?
I think he takes the BMF title.
I think if he stays patient in the way that he goes about it, but
if he fights like he did against
improves as he goes on, though, doesn't he? You know what I mean, like
he does. It's a tight fight. I mean, even that first fight that they had, I rewatched it the other day. Great fight. The thing that cost Gaethje is he got overexcited in the 4th round and ran into and just got beat up. But if he fights smart like he did against Fiziev, and even like in rounds 2 and 3 against Chandler, not like he did against Oliveira, but we've seen flashes of, and I like to call this style that he's embraced a controlled chaos. Right? Yeah. He can swing and bang, no problem, but then it's kind of controlled and he does it really well. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, 100%, mate. 100% with you on that one. Like so, but no, that's a good shout. The Dariush fight. Obviously, Arman, you can't not give him the opportunity now as well after his last performance as well was fucking great. So it's gonna be interesting to see which way the white weight.
I don't know who Islam's gonna fight now. I don't know who Islam's gonna fight now.
It's gonna be Volk, mate. That's the way
in
I'm
October.
seeing it.
Do you think?
He could. Volk never took too much
damage. In Abu Dhabi, Volk has his elbow surgery. He said it's not a significant one. He could be back by Abu Dhabi. Said on Helwani's show.
Right.
I don't know who Islam fights because Poirier and Gaethje are going to beat lumps out of each other, right? Charles Oliveira has said he can't fight then. He's not in shape for that. He's not, or maybe he has some injuries. Beneil Dariush obviously just got beaten. Michael Chandler threw his name into the hat. I don't see that happening because of the loss to Poirier. Rafael Fiziev just lost to Gaethje. I could run through the whole division. Mateus Gamera, Jalen Turner isn't enough to get you one. The one that I could see if they really want to push it is Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam. He's ready. He's already back in the gym. He's training. And there's a story there that you can build. So that's one. But like I have no idea. If Volk's not ready, who is Islam Makhachev going to fight?
Who's going to be next? Oh, they need to wait till Poirier Gaethje have fought and then try and see who the winner of that one is and see what happens there, see who's ready.
Yeah, but they're not going to be
damaged. They're not going to be damaged by October, really. So there's no one. There's a couple of opportunities there, but no one I can think of straight off the bat, like you say.
Yeah, I don't know. And when it comes to Jalen Turner as well, I mean, like he fought a good fight in the first round. Maybe a fight that we could get. I said this the other day: Jalen Turner versus Damir Ismagulov. That's a good fight.
That would be a good fight too. Mate.
Both on a bit of a skid now.
Yeah, just a little bit, but still, I mean, it, like you say, it builds a story. It gives them something to go for, and two fighters wanting a bit of redemption and wanting to get back into the winning column and get back to where they want to be. I mean, to start chasing the goals. So obviously after that one, we have this controversial fucking shit show, clown show, whatever you want to call it, of everything with DDP and Israel Adesanya, and obviously we had Whitaker got beat by him. Mate, I had Whitaker. I thought his experience over 3 rounds, 5 rounds over his career was gonna take him to the decision. I didn't think it would be unanimous. I did think it would be split. But obviously DDP had other plans. You know what I mean? Went in there and performed quite well.
Yeah, man. I mean, maybe I need to get my DV. I don't have a DVA set, but maybe I need to get that surgery so I can get the superpowers DDP had,
Yeah.
because that was so impressive. He wasn't out of breath. He wasn't just bulldozing in.
Uh-huh.
He saw something. He mentioned going southpaw and saying he watched the Cannonier fight. I don't know if you saw. Someone posted on Twitter a clip from the Cannonier fight, and Whitaker steps in. He gets hit by this jab, and it rocks him from
Yeah.
Cannonier in a southpaw stance. That is the exact same shot Dricus dropped him with.
Straight down the pipe. There was a lovely jab.
Straight down the pipe, just as he stepped in. And I don't like that people are saying that he's washed, that Whitaker's
No,
washed. I think
Whitaker's washed. No, not a chance. Yeah, I mean,
no,
he
he's
still runs
not
rings
washed.
around most other people in the division.
Yeah, I think Dricus is just better than everyone expected.
Yeah, 100%.
And so it's an interesting thing. Like, will Dricus be ready by September for the Sydney card? I'm not sure. He didn't take any damage really. I think he had like a little black eye, but I think anyone gets that if they have a fist fight. So Izzy wants that fight. He was clearly drunk in the post fight, but I don't know if you heard. So he was trying to say 23andMe, the DNA test. He said 36andMe.
36andMe, yeah, I heard that.
And then 26andMe. He blundered it twice.
Yeah.
And also, why is he telling Dricus du Plessis to get a DNA test? He is the most clearly South African man I've ever seen. Like his accent, the way he handles. I know a lot of South African people. He is South African. There's no debate about it.
I've got a few South African friends as well, mate, and it's the behavior, mannerisms, the experience they've been through in life develops this certain type of character, and they all kind of display the same qualities and moral code and everything, mate. I mean, they're some of the nicest people you could meet on the planet, if I'm honest with you. But I thought his performance was excellent. Like you say, he didn't look fatigued, didn't look gassed. And the most thing that surprised me as well was his patience. He never like tried to bum rush anything. He just kind of took his time. Even when he dropped him, he never capitalized straight away. I mean, he kind of let him get back up to his feet and then worked
the body shots in that end. That was beautiful. Like,
they were heavy,
ripping to the body.
Yeah,
and then that's really what crumbled. I think if he was headshot, I think Whitaker could have survived a little bit longer, maybe to the end of the round. Then getting to the body, and then he just crumbled Whitaker. And I love Robert Whitaker. I have his picture up here because I respect him so much. But man, great performance. I mean, I don't know how du Plessis Adesanya is going to go, because du Plessis is clearly, I don't know what to do. I don't know what du Plessis is doing. Like, he just looks different in every fight, and I can never get a read on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it stays on the feet, Izzy could probably edge it towards a decision. I mean, just try and keep him at range, keep him there. Like, he's got some unorthodox style where he'll come in from angles that you wouldn't be expecting him to come in from, and it probably cause some problems for DDP, where he might try and come in for a jab, but he's getting hit with a hook out of nowhere, and it just rocks him off rhythm. I mean, just little things like that we've seen Izzy do throughout his career. But I think if he actually utilizes the grappling and he goes for the takedowns and he gets him on the floor and he maybe tries to go for a submission, I think that's probably his path to victory. His most likely path to victory. But at the same time, we have also seen Adesanya rocks. I mean, we also seen him get KO'd by Pereira. I mean, so twice. It happens. Like, and his chin's clearly been clocked before, so it can be clocked again. So he's got every chance of catching him too. But it's, can you get close enough to catch him? And I think it probably will happen in September, like, especially with all this hype around it, all of this controversy around it. Like, and I'm not liking this racist spin that people are really putting onto it. And obviously, what do you expect Twitter to go and do with that? It's going to become the most toxic thing. And I mean, probably more toxic.
It already is toxic. I've had to mute multiple fan pages, and it's very toxic. But I do think what Dricus is saying, like, I think he didn't mean it the way he said it. I think he was saying, like, I came from Africa. Like, obviously, Francis, Izzy, and Usman, they came from Africa. They are African champions. Yeah. But I think what du Plessis means, like, born and raised in Africa, trains in Africa. Yeah. Everything is African about him. I think that's what he kind of meant. Yeah. But then to say he's the true African champion, I think that is wrong. I don't think he necessarily meant to discredit them. To it. Yeah. But then I think he also realized maybe I do need to build a fight. So saying, like, the belt never went back to Africa. There's clear videos of Izzy and Francis going back to Africa. And, like, that Francis video, he did a whole tour out there in Cameroon. Yeah. So I don't know. Dricus, Izzy, I guess that's set for September then. I think we can write that one off. Then we've got 2 cards with title fights on them in September. I I genuinely I don't know what's going on with Leon Edwards, Colby Covington. Clearly, that's the fight they want. Yeah, I have no idea. Jamal Hill wants to fight, but at the same time, he's looking like the next heavyweight champion. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
He's got a little bit of work to do to get back in the gym and get sorted before he gets in there
100%.
to fight, doesn't he? You know what I mean? So, and what else was it you mentioned there? Sorry, the
Edwards Covington or
Edwards Covington. Yeah, you're not really hearing much about that yet. I mean, there's probably a few
I
things
think
that
they
could come
both.
from it.
I think Colby wants it, and I don't think Leon knows what he wants because he doesn't want to fight Bilal. He doesn't want to fight Colby Covington. Who is he going to fight? Hamzat it doesn't deserve a shot to me yet.
Neither does Colby either, though. You know what I mean? Like it's a wild one to throw him in there.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, like Colby's been around for a long time, and so I think it's a respect thing from the UFC. Give him this is his last shot. If he loses the shot, that's it. He's not going to get another shot, no matter who he beats. But the UFC recognized Colby Covington as a star, which he is. I mean, he brings in numbers with everything he does. I mean, him showing up in London, that blew up so fast. So clearly the UFC sees like, okay, we can maximize Colby Covington because he's the biggest heel in MMA.
Bilal was probably too much of a gentleman to, you know what I mean? He's not the Colby style of things where he's like all big and in your face with a persona.
Serious. I don't think anyone can take Bilal's trash talk really seriously. And we've seen Leon Bilal. That's why it's not exciting anyone. Yeah. If let's say Bilal held him down in the second round, right? Controlled him in the first round. Then Leon rocked him in the second round before the eye poke. Then they'll be like, oh, he was winning, but he got rocked. Yeah. Then you can explain it. The fight that was going on was clearly going in Leon's favor.
Yeah, 100%.
So no one's really excited about that fight, but I don't know. I feel like Colby Covington excites a lot more fans just because his style with his heavy pressure. Maybe it just excites me more with heavy pressure and heavy cardio. And
I think a lot of people would agree with you, to be honest with you. But I also like to think about like the aspect of where Bilal's came from since that fight. Yeah, I mean, look at the performances that he put in.
Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting Bilal. He is a great fighter. And yeah, he does deserve a shot. It's just about what the champion wants, and that's the issue here.
Yeah, that's it. And I like he was saying, he doesn't want to fight Colby Covington and he doesn't want to fight Bilal. So what the fuck do you want to do? You just want to hold on to that and see where it goes. I'm kind of gutted that they're not making this. He wouldn't make this London card because obviously he didn't want to fight Colby at that point, and that's what they were trying to.
Colby wanted that too. I was like, oh, cool. I'm getting to go to a pay-per-view because I'm going to London next week. No, we've got Aspinall Tabora.
I know it's still going to be a banger though.
It's going to be a good fight.
We'll get onto that in a minute. That's in my structure of the combo. I've got that there.
All right, yeah. Sorry, I keep.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's fine. Obviously, I just don't want to come back round and start asking the same questions later on. You know what I mean? So obviously, after that fight, we had Pantoja, Brandon Moreno. What's your thoughts on the rematch? Do you reckon they should get it? Do you reckon they shouldn't?
I'm a big Moreno guy. I scored that for Pantoja. I scored it 48-47. I can't remember the rounds exactly because it was 6 a.m. when I was watching that fight. I was a little bit tired. It was a great fight. And the thing with Moreno is, even though he has 6 title fights in a row, he's not got a title defense. So without having a title defense and without being like considered the reigning champion, it's hard to put yourself in line to get the next shot, right? Pantoja has beaten him 3 times now. If you include the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah. Brandon Royval is a very clear guy who deserves a shot. The thing is with that is we've seen that fight before, and I'm scared it plays out the same way. As much as I like Brandon Royval, that is the next fight. I do think Brandon Moreno has to win one more. And about who he fights, you could do Albazi, I think would be the fair one to do there, despite, I think Kai Kara France won that fight pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Moreno, Albazi, and then you do Pantoja and Brandon Royval. I think that's a fair way to shake it. And then if Moreno wins, then he can definitely get a rematch.
Go back and get it again.
And I think Royval is interested in a Moreno rematch because if you remember their first fight, he dislocated his shoulder. That's why he couldn't. That's why he got TKO'd. So, yeah, for me, Moreno, as much as I like him, shouldn't necessarily get the immediate shot back. I think he should have one more win. Sorry, my chair keeps lowering itself.
No,
But yeah, that's how I see it. I don't know how you see it. How do you see it, man?
I can see that point of view, but at the same time, I'd also like to see it get run back again. I feel like it was a very,
Yeah.
very close fight over the 5 rounds. That 48-46 or 49-46 card, whatever it was.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, there was no way.
No,
There was no way that was coming out of there. That was just
I could
again.
see a 48-47 Moreno,
Yeah.
but I scored it for Pandoja,
Mm-hmm.
and I think finally the judges got something right.
Yeah.
And also, Dan Hooker versus Jalen Turner going to split is ridiculous as well,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know,
Um,
because you could give Jalen Turner the first round to then give
yeah, you give
Dan
him the first round. It's
next two.
29-28, though, for
Yeah.
Hooker. It was
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
clear, I thought.
Yeah. Overall. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll rewatch the fight and come back to my point. But yeah, judging that's a whole nother topic. I could do a 10-hour podcast about it, but
and still get nowhere with it. Yeah.
No, exactly. We're not
It's
going to
one
get
of those
anywhere with it.
things.
And that's the thing. Like, I've had something to say about it numerous times, and people are like, "Oh, well, you come up with a judging system." I can't. I'm not an expert. I
asked ChatGPT, and even that fucker couldn't come up with something. You know what I mean?
I used ChatGPT in an interview today, actually.
Right. Okay. It's a fun thing to use, man. Even just for a little bit.
Fun to mess about on.
Yeah, a little bit of creative influence at times where you might get a little bit stuck if you're doing a piece of writing or something. But...
Well, I used it as a segment because the fighter I interviewed, I'm not going to say who because it's coming out tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
And because I normally do like a quick fire segment. I don't know if you've really seen that, but I normally do like a quick fire segment, kind of like the humanizing athletes that Alex Behunin does.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I've done this with him before, so I'm going to try something new. So I did. I asked him to put in 5 questions for UFC, and I'm not going to say the weight class and the name, but yeah, it came up with better questions than I could. And AI is coming for all our jobs, including my little internet show. So
100%, man. But what you'd need to do is just take from it pieces. You know what I mean? Don't take it all. Make it you. Just take what. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Take that and just make it how you would run with it.
No, there's definitely some questions you might hear said again.
I think with these podcasts, I'm doing 6 in this week. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of repeated conversations.
You're a machine. You're a machine. I have to say, I keep seeing your stuff. It's really, really good. I haven't watched the Arnold Allen interview yet, but it's like I put it in the watch later thing. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I appreciate that, man. Like I say, I'm not expecting this to go anywhere. I'm not expecting anybody to jump on it and watch it, man. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. Like the whole reason,
that's the thing. Podcasts are so fun, and
I know I've always wanted to do it and just have conversations with people, get to know them. Yeah, I mean, talk about shared experiences, all the rest of it. I ain't no fucking Joe Rogan. It ain't gonna go that far. I'm already well aware of that. You know what I mean? Humble beginnings and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? So, but now it's fun as fuck. And like I say, I just do it to keep me productive. My daughter was born 16 months ago, and then I've dropped hours at work. Cheers, man. For childcare purposes, so I've got her like Monday, Tuesday, Friday, all the rest of it, and I was like, right, so I'm dropping some hours at work, obviously just to look after my daughter and stuff, but what can I now do outside of work to keep myself busy, keep myself productive, and not actually just fall into this like full-time dad kind of role? Not that that's a bad thing, you know what I mean, but at the same time, I want to keep myself going. I also want to kind of showcase to her to stay productive and, you know what I mean, utilize your brain every day. You know what I mean, don't just be sitting getting lazy-minded, scrolling on your phone or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So that was the whole reason why I wanted to start these things, man, and then just get people like yourself on and speak to you. So we spoke about Volk and we spoke about his performance a little bit. Fucking phenomenal. Nobody seems to be touching him.
I just want to say that finishing sequence is it's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Counters the kick beautifully. I saw someone saying it was due to the head clash 3 minutes before. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect counter shot.
Yeah.
Chases him down, and as he starts to wail on him, and Yair lifts up his hand and shoots this perfect takedown. Slams him right down into side control and kind of half on his back.
Work from there.
And it
was very much
ground and pound.
Mirrored to the Max Holloway fight as well. And Max had him on the ground, and it seems to be the way. If you want to go and beat Pantoja. Sorry, Pantoja. The fuck am I about? Yeah,
I was
Rodriguez. I know. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck am I about?
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah. So if you want to go out there and you want to beat Yair, it seems to be take him to the ground, and because obviously he's very rangy with his kicks. He's got some wild shots that come in there, shots that you don't know where they're coming from or when they're coming. You know what I mean, he's very random with things. And I think the way to do it is close that space down on him, just like you've seen Volk do, just like you've seen Max do. You know what I mean? Get him to the ground, make him feel like he's got no movement, and then just fucking smash into him as much as you can.
Yeah, the script was written on kind of how to beat Yair, and that was in the Frankie Edgar fight.
Yeah.
Frankie just took him down and beat him into a pulp. But like Yair got a lot better since then. He went away, he worked. I mean, yeah, I mean that Emmett performance was really slick. I'm surprised Emmett didn't take him down. Or didn't he? I think he tried, but he didn't really get any success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Yair is really good, and there's no knocking him.
Oh no, not
Like
at all, not
his
at all. But
style is effective.
it just shows
But
you the level that Volk is at, though. It's fucking insane.
it's ridiculous. And the crazy thing is, he keeps getting better.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep getting better?
Even Arnold
You're the
Allen
number
had
one
so much
pound
praise
fighter
for him.
in the world. You're supposed to regress
Yeah.
after 6 title defenses. He's not stopping anytime soon.
Not at all. And I think what
he's going to retire with the belt, I think.
Well,
I don't think anyone beats him.
I was saying this now. He's probably going to be undefeated, undisputed. You know what I mean? And he's what I think he's going to try and do next. I think for him, it's probably going to let's go get that belt off Islam, because he fucking won that first fight, and I'll die on that hill with anybody when they want to talk.
I'll die with you. I'll die with you.
The fucking damage he put onto him, even from from the bottom position, it was just like, mate, how can you even try? Like, yeah, he might be on top with the control time, but look at the damage that he's putting in. You need to reapply the criteria to the level. Yeah, he might come down onto the ground, but let's not just focus on control. Let's have a look at damage as well and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, Islam totally underestimated him, as like a lot of people believe too. He kept calling him little man all the way through it and stuff. You know what I mean? So, and he went in there and just put on an absolute performance. But personally, I think he's going to go and get that belt off Islam. I think he's going to come back to the featherweight and he's going to defend it 3 more times. I think he's. He wants to beat Aldo's reign of defenses. I think he will probably try and beat that. Which was what, 8, I think. So if he can get to 9, maybe even push, get to 10, hold it there. Fuck it, the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, of all time. Yeah, like, other than John Jones.
To me, he's already the greatest featherweight of all time, and I'll down that hill. I thought he was the greatest featherweight of all time before this fight. This solidified it. If he doesn't get the Islam fight, which wouldn't surprise me, he will fight Ilia Topuria. That fight is interesting in its own. I do think Volkanovski wins that fight. I think it's just maybe like Topuria is very well rounded, and like he's got better jiu-jitsu than Volkanovski. But I think Volkanovski, his game, he's been using this game for so long. I think it just really well complements itself. He is the perfect balanced fighter. He is everything. He has every tool in the toolbox. And so yeah, Topuria, I would like to see Arnold Allen fight like a guy like Josh Emmett, or even run that Cater fight back because of the knee injury. It's not a bad one. Obviously, Allen has to step back a little bit. If they really want to do something, you could do him versus Giga. I don't know what's going on with Brian Ortega. I do like Brian Ortega a lot.
Had an arm injury or something, a wrist injury or something, I'm sure it did.
Yeah, so, I think the shoulder is because of the Yair fight. I think that's doing something. But yeah, if he were to beat Ilia Topuria, Arnold Allen, I know he's your boy, and I like him a lot too, right? But if he were to beat Ilia Topuria, Arnold Allen, I know it looks like I'm looking at my computer. I'm looking at the rankings. So
go for it, mate. No, go for it.
I'm just reading things. Arnold Allen, Ilia Topuria, and let's say, I don't know, Calvin Cater, if Calvin is able to work his way up, and maybe like one of these new bred guys like Movsar Evloev or Giga Chikadze, I don't know who beats him right now. Like, the only one who could beat him right now and has beat him in the UFC is Islam Makhachev. No matter how you dispute it, it goes down as a loss on the record.
Yeah.
He is the only guy, I think, that in the UFC can beat Volkanovski. I think if he goes to lightweight, he beats Dustin Poirier and he beats Justin Gaethje.
Well, I was speaking about this with Arnie the other day, and I was saying I think it would. I mean, you could be right. He could beat them, but at the same time, it's going to be a total different fight for him against some of those bigger boys. You know what I mean? They're used to walking around at a bit of a heavier weight. They're not coming in at they might weigh at 155. They ain't walking in there at 155. You know what I mean?
They weigh 155 for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then they're up there back at 170s, 180s before they're walking back into that octagon.
I think Poirier walks around at 195. He is a massive dude.
Heavy in it. You know what I mean? So there's some problems in that lightweight division for Volk. And whether he goes up and he stays there, if he makes the move and whatever else, I mean, I think there is some difficult fights for him in there.
I mean, there's another fight for him at featherweight too, and that is Aljamain Sterling if he were to beat Sean O'Malley.
He's talking about coming up. So that is another thing that we discussed with somebody else as well. Was it like you say, it could be the Arnold Allen, the Topuria, maybe Aljo bumps up, but I think he smashes Aljo as well. As much as he's going to probably try and sit in his back, I think he fucking dominates him no matter where he goes.
I think so. The thing with Aljo, like he's saying, I'm going to vacate for Merab. Don't vacate the title until you win against Volkanovski, Because if you were to lose and you have vacated your title, you're in no man's land. You have no claim back to the belt because Merab is gonna win it. Like, I don't think anyone can stop Merab. He is absolutely ridiculous. So you have no claim to win it because you have said for ages you don't want to fight him. Merab doesn't want to fight him either. So for me, if he wants to go fight Volkanovski, win your fight against Sean O'Malley, keep the belt, beat Volkanovski, and take that belt, and then relinquish the bantamweight title. Have the double champ moment, and then give up the bantamweight title for Merab. Merab isn't waiting. I mean, he's going to be out for maybe the rest of the year, maybe until November, December with his injury. So I don't know if he were to beat Sean O'Malley, Merab versus Cejudo or Merab versus Sandhagen and Umar winner. Like, there's a lot of fights at bantamweight, and I would like to see Corey get a chance at the title. Yeah, but we've seen how Aljo versus him looks, and that's why he's not been given the shot.
Yeah, 100%. What was I going to say there? Something that you mentioned, Merab, mate. That little bastard's everywhere, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, doesn't matter where he goes.
I love him. I love him.
He's fucking everywhere. He's in the back of every press conference. He's at the side of every interview. He's at the back of every fighter walking in and out of a cage. He's all over the place just now, and he's a little funny guy. Like, he's class.
He's a PR monster. He's a social media little demon. Have you seen the video where he runs up the mountain? He just like scales this mountain. It's
jumping
just like
all over it and going fucking mental.
Like, I've never been that nimble in my life, and I'm 18 years old. I should be, but I'm not. And he is ridiculous. And even though the Peter Yan performance is one of the greatest performances in UFC history, 50 shot takedowns. Like, I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous. That's 10 takedowns around.
Yeah. So are you only 18? Is that how old you are?
I'm only 18, yeah.
Holy shit, man. I thought you were in your 20s or something at least, mate. Fucking for an 18-year-old, you carry yourself pretty respectfully and you're doing quite well, to be honest with you, mate, especially within the MMA media world.
I've been doing this 3 years, so I've matured through doing this. And I've had my stupid moments on social media, but I think I'm at a point where I'm pretty mature now. I know how to handle myself in this game.
Yeah, I mean, mate, don't be scared of being stupid from time to time. Yeah, I mean, everybody's capable of it.
I have my flashes. Don't worry. I have my relapses of stupidity. Pops up more often than not.
Yeah, well, I'm 32, mate. I mean, I've got 14 years on you. That's fucking wild, mate. I thought you were a bit older than that.
Wild.
Honestly.
That's wild.
And I'm only just starting. Yeah, I mean, I'm 2 months in or something like that. So fuck, mate. You've got yonks of experience on me. So yeah, let's get into that then. Like, on the back of that, that's a perfect little segue to get into this. So like you say, we've spoken Twitter back and forth. I mean, for a little while now. And like, how did you get into all of this? And like you say, so you were 15 years old. And like, so you, at the moment, from looking at your socials and stuff, you do some media work for Combat Sports, Cage Side Press. You do some writing, interviews, commentator for Agro Fighting. Was that like UFC 4 Sims or something?
Yeah.
Okay, fucking wild, man.
We have a card next Saturday. It's the first one back in a while. I haven't done it in a while, so I might be a little rusty. But yeah, tune in for sure. 7 p.m. British time. Right. Probably commentate on that unless something comes up. But yeah, man, how I got started in this, I mean, I've loved sport for ages. If you can look around my room, you see all the fight posters back there. There's a Volkanovski print back there as well. But then, that doesn't show anything. But then, like, I have, like, NFL posters, Premier League posters. I'm a massive Liverpool fan. And I don't know if you're a big football guy, but... I
was when I was a kid, mate, right? So probably as I got into my teenage years and started going out with my friends, getting drunk and all the rest of it, I mean, I kind of went away from football a little bit. And then as I started getting a bit older, I did a lot of jiu-jitsu when I was younger. I'd done Japanese jiu-jitsu from when maybe the age of like 4 or 5 until I was about 12, 13. And then I just wanted to get back into training, so I started going into like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff, I mean? So I kind of avoid football. Don't get me wrong, I can sit, I can watch it. I was brought up to support Manchester United, still fucking support them, I mean? I'll watch the games and things like that. My family from the northwest of England, so half of us was Man United, half of us were Liverpool. So there's always that good rivalry within the family. Still is, I mean, I still get little jabs poked at me and stuff from my uncle and my cousin, and I ping it back at them, like, but it's not something that I'm massively involved with. But obviously you're a Liverpool fan as well, mate, so we'll just end this podcast here, will we?
Yeah, man. So like growing up, I was like, I'm gonna be a Liverpool player. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. Right? Yeah. I grew up in Scotland. Like my first 6 years, I lived in Scotland. So I would watch Match of the Day all the time. And like, I want to be him. I want, I was looking at Fernando Torres when he left to go to Chelsea. I cried my eyes out. Him and Steven Gerrard, like, they were my idols growing up. Still love Stevie G. And so I was like, I'm going to be the next Fernando Torres. That dream quickly diminished, right? Because
you realize what they fucking go
I realize how hard it takes, and I don't have the dedication
to. There's other shit I want to do.
And so by then, I'd moved to Germany, and I was like, I'm going to be an NFL player. I got into the NFL in 2011. I live in Germany. That was never going to happen, right? Out the window.
Yeah.
But I still wanted something to do with sport, right? Mm-hmm. I was 15. I was like, I love sport. I watch it all the time. It's all I talk about. Like, you ask my parents, I just talk their ears off about sport. Yeah. Still do. I'm 18. I still chat to them about all these things. And so how can I find something in sport? And, when it comes to interviews in journalism, like football and the NFL, that's hard to crack. You're never going to get in contact with a Premier League player or an NFL player. I've had one contact with an NFL player. That's it. And it's really nightmare to do. But MMA is such an open sport. And I found MMA in 2018 through the Conor Khabib saga.
Right, okay.
And I was like, man, this sport is really awesome. And I had a couple like back and forth with fighters in DM, so it was never really anything until like 2020. I was like, man, I want to do something with this. Man, I love this sport. I love sport in general. Working in MMA media, that doesn't close me off from maybe I'll become a Premier League reporter in 10 years. I don't know what's going to happen. Like,
get your face out there to different promotions, and then you can have like a vast portfolio of work that you've done to be able to showcase your skills and what you've got. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
So
2020, contacted my favorite fighter, and he still is. It's Tim Elliott, and the UFC flyweight. I contacted him. I was like, hey man, I would really love to interview you. I don't think you realize I'd never done an interview before. Right. If you go back, I had the worst camera setup in the world. I used my big brother's microphone, and my hands were going like this the whole time.
Yeah,
I was nervous, shaky. It was. I hate. I've got thought about.
I've got a blooper from the Arnold Allen one that I'm going to share as well on Twitter at some point over this week of when we first started it. And like I say, I start off with the welcome to the Ram with Dad, blah, blah, blah episode this, and I've got Arnold Allen on. So I explained to him that I'm going to do this. And then I fucking hit record. Went to start doing it. Welcome to the Ram with Dad podcast. I was like, fuck me. And I just fucking hit stop on the record. I was like, sorry, mate. 3 hours kip after watching the card. I've had about 3 coffees in the last 45 minutes to try and wake myself up, and just fucking nerves of speaking to you. So I understand that completely. But go on, mate. Carry on. Like, it was an absolute fuck me moment. You know what I mean? Just like, get yourself together. But go on, nervous sitting there, rubbing your hands. All the rest of it,
I was nervous sitting there rubbing my hands, but I did the interview. After the interview, I ended the call. I'd never felt more proud of myself in my life. Like, oh my God, I just talked to a UFC fighter, let alone a ranked fighter who's fought for the title, won the Ultimate Fighter. Like, my favorite fighter. I just sat and chatted to him for 30 minutes. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is the best feeling in the world. I felt all the endorphins, all the dopamine hits in the world. Everything. And so I just went with it. And then I did Cal Eleanor, who hasn't fought since I interviewed him, which maybe I'm the curse here, but I was like, man, that was really cool.
Lewis Glover has said the same thing. He's interviewed some people before, and then they've got on like a bit of a losing streak or whatever after it. He's like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah, he's done grappling competition. I still chat to him every once in a while, which is pretty cool. And then I did Chris Duncan. That was my 3rd interview. You know him, UFC lightweight. He was still in Bellator at the time. He had just won in Bellator on their like international or Europe series.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stevie that I just interviewed before interviewing you, he trains with him. They're really good friends, have been for years, you know what I mean? So he's just 5 minutes up the road from me. I was trying to get him onto the show this week as well, but it's too close to the card, and he's traveling back from America, being at ATT and everything. So
I might get a chance to chat to him for an interview next week at the Fighter Hotel, because I get in like 7 a.m. in London on a Thursday. I was like, sightseeing will be cool. I've never been to London, so it's going to be a whole complete new ballgame. I know you're going to London. I'm sure we'll find a time, but so probably going to chat to him. And then like for a while, like I did a couple more interviews, and then I had to do my GCSEs. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on my exams. If you look at my YouTube, there's a massive gap between interviews. And then from 2021, like I was like, okay, now it's my time to work. And I've been grinding ever since. This year has been amazing. Last year, I covered my first event in America, Cage Titans. Shout out to them; they're amazing. If you're ever in Massachusetts, check them out.
I'm guessing you're from America originally.
Yes. So my mom's American, my dad's Irish.
Right. Okay. Well, obviously Mccorry. Yeah. I mean, I was going to say you've got some Irish link there. So you said you lived in Scotland. You lived in Germany. You lived in America? You've got the accent. Yeah. I mean, you got the American accent. So.
No. So I've never lived in America, but I grew up and I had the strongest Scottish accent. I grew up around Edinburgh. Really? I had the strongest little Scottish accent. There's an old video of me singing a Jack and the Beanstalk song in the bath, and it's the heaviest Scottish accent you'll ever hear. I have to find the audio recording and post it because it's hilarious.
You need to send that, mate. That's fucking it.
And I moved here. And...
Sorry, go on.
Go on. No.
Whereabouts outside of Edinburgh was it?
Burnt Island.
Oh, really? Right. Okay. That's one place a lot of people go, and I've never even been to Burnt Island yet. And a lot of people take the dog.
I haven't been back since. I really want to get back out there.
Right, okay.
Just see it with more adult eyes, right?
Yeah.
So I moved here when I was 6 years old, and my accent kind of mellowed out that way. And now I've got this like kind of bland accent that hooks on to certain words. And like when I was back in Ireland, like I had my Belfasty moments, and I was like, oh no, like I'm getting stuck, and still have my Scottish moments. Sometimes I'll say things, and what's funny is sometimes I'll get angry and I'll say something, and it'll come out Scottish, and it's really, really funny. So. So it's like that's why no one can take me seriously when I get angry because my accent changes.
So I'm from a town called Warrington. It's kind of it's kind of like where I am now is just outside Stirling, in Scotland, and Stirling it falls in between Edinburgh and Glasgow. So you kind of get a mix of all the accents kind of going there. Warrington in between Manchester and Liverpool. So usually when you're having fun, you're having a laugh. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, there, kid, you sound like you're coming out of Oasis or something. You know what I mean? But then when you get angry, it goes a little bit scouse, like when you start getting really fucking annoyed. And then people were saying when I was coming back and visiting family and stuff after living in Scotland for so many years, like, mate, you sound Scottish. I was like, no, I fucking don't. Shut up. And they're like, no, like certain words and the way that mannerisms and whatever, the way that I carry myself and say things, they're like, it's got like a little Scottish twang to it and everything every now and again. So, but that's just living with them. Yeah, I mean, speaking to them every single day. And I don't know if you get it. I get like this weird sensation in my throat that I'm struggling to get words out, and I feel like I need to push them. And it's kind of like the two accents are trying to fucking move each other out of the way to try and push through. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever get that, but it gives me a weird feeling in my fucking throat.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm talking to. So like, you'll probably see if we meet up in London, there'll be a couple words that hook onto a Scottish accent. It'll be really funny. You'll get a good crack out of it. But I have a couple of English friends. It used to happen all the time where I just start to sound more British. It was just like, what is happening? I couldn't even control it. My mom has the same thing. She grew up in Texas, and so when she's talking about the South, like she'll start to go all Southern. It's really funny.
Yeah, well, my mom grew up in Northern Ireland, and she sounds like me now because she'd been in England since she was like quite young. Anytime she speaks to somebody from back at home in Ireland, it comes on straight away. Yeah, I mean, and you're sitting there going, Mum, why are you doing that? But you don't realise when you're a kid and you hear your mum start talking in an Irish accent, you're like, Mum, why are you doing that? And she's like, oh, I can't help it. And you just think, yeah, you can. You're just doing it because you're speaking with these people. But it's actually just a natural thing for them. Yeah, I mean, your really body kind of switches back to it and goes.
And you start to use all these like the words, you know what I mean? Like certain words you'll start to use, and it's like, why am I saying that? Like that's not on my normal vocabulary. It's just when I talk to these people.
But that's it. So even when I was speaking to Stevie on this one, like, I mean, I'm using some of the Scottish slang when I'm talking to him, and I'm like, idea. I mean, just things like that. You wouldn't normally, and most people listen to it. What the fuck did he just say? Like, you can, I mean, man. Yeah, I mean, like if you're going along with things like that and folk about who's Ken? What is he on about? I fucking thought that when I first heard it anyway as well. So Frankfurt, you're in just now. Yeah,
so I live about 30 minutes away from Frankfurt. I mean, I live in this tiny little village, a lot of old people, but it's not bad. And then Frankfurt is kind of where I run out. So like if I were to go for a flight, like I'm flying Frankfurt to London City next week.
London City.
Yeah, Frankfurt Airport's nice. London City, yeah.
Right there, mate. 10 minutes off the doorstep. Yeah, I mean, where are you staying? You're staying at the Hilton.
I'm staying in the Docklands, the Travel Lodge.
Oh, right, okay. Is that in Canary Wharf as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're about 5 minutes away from
when
us.
do you get in? Friday
morning, yeah. Getting Friday morning. I think about 11 o'clock, something like
that. I might be meeting a couple people around the O2 on Friday morning, so if you want to come up, we'll text, and we can definitely meet up on Friday.
Yeah, man,
I'll be covering Cage Warriors, but in the evening. But
me and Sean are flying in, and my cousin's getting the train. Because it was stupid. The flights from Glasgow to London sound. Yeah, I mean, I think it was 90 quid, 95 quid, or something like that for return flights. Flights from Manchester or Liverpool to London was ridiculous. They were like over £100 odd, and they were flying you out to Dublin first and then to London. And it was obviously, it must be like fucking whatever, you know what I mean? Or we don't want to air pollution and all the rest of it, so they don't just want to do one quick flight from Manchester to London. So, right, we're going to take you over to Ireland first. But some of it was actually like a 16-hour layover before then it would actually be taking you to London. It was like, nah, you need to get the fucking train. And those things are not reliable at the moment. So,
no.
He's got his train ticket, though. He's going to head to the station, jump on whatever fucking train turns up and get him there. But we should all get in about 11 o'clock. And then we're flying into Luton. We'll then get on the Luton Parkway, which will bring us into either King's Cross, St Pancras, but I think they're both joined anyway. They're all kind of fucking right near each other, aren't they? And then we'll meet up with my cousin, jump on the subway and head to Canary Wharf. So once we're in the hotel and we're all checked in and everything, we can give you a shout.
And also, like Saturday, I mean, I won't have anything to do before the UFC event, so
yeah,
I'm sure we'll be able. Where are you sat at the UFC London?
What we in section 103, I think. Row.
Is that lower down?
Yeah, lower tiers.
I'm high up. I'm broke.
Mate, no, mate. Honestly, so I actually emailed them the other week and I was like, right, you've dropped the fucking prices. What's the crack here? Like, you either going to move me closer to the front, so my ticket, the price that I paid now.
There's so many seats available. I'm gonna see if I can just get bumped up or.
You just walk as soon as you walk in there, mate, and have a look before, like on the day or whatever. See how many tickets are left, and as soon as you walk in, just go up to a steward and just say, look, if there's any room for moving closer, because that's what they like to do. They like to bring everybody in. That's so I've been told. Anybody like for
looks
the TV
better on
and
TV.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean production value and all that. But yeah, I was a bit fucking. I was a bit annoyed. I was like, mate, right. So I've paid over the odds for these tickets now. So are you going to reflect the price that I've paid in my seat? Are you going to move my seat?
I got service charged and it was cheeky. Because I got a pre-sale link from Nathaniel Wood, who sponsors my show and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool, slightly discounted early roll. I thought the event was going to sell out. It's not. It's pretty poor.
Yeah, we fucking rushed to buy the tickets too. For the one in March, I was given a pre-sale ticket too, and obviously you need to choose fighter, family, and all the rest of it to go through and get them approved. So I had that. It was excellent. Fucking massive shout out. Don't want to say. He told me not to say anything. So massive shout. You know who he is if he watches this. Massive shout out to him for sorting me out and getting that. And he never sent it along this time, so we were scrambling for tickets, thinking, fuck, we better jump on this, we better get them quick. And then we got them, and look where we are now. Yeah, I mean, we could have waited for the prices to go down anywhere between 50 and 80
No, I paid $210 for my P5 seat. I don't know what it is now, but they gave me a £60 service charge. It was cheeky.
Fucking hell, man. And is that...
So it was about €280 total for my ticket.
So...
And
I think we were 330. So we were in section 105 in March, and that was 300 quid. I think bang on the nose, 300 quid, including service charges and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up AXS. I can tell you where my exact seat is. And then, if anyone's listening to this, do not come and attack me in my seat.
As long as you've not pissed anybody off.
I'm in section 403.
403. So. Oh, right. So you're literally fucking above us. So, like I say, we're 103, so you'll just be in the tiers above us.
I'll spit on you from above.
Yeah, go for it, mate. I mean, fucking hell. What was I going to say there? Yeah, I think we paid $330 or something we paid for this time. Yeah, I mean, that's with the service charges and everything on top. So, yeah, the bastards better move me closer to reflect my price because the seats in front.
Oh, they better. I paid $280. I want closer.
Mean, like fucking the seats in front of me that are cheaper than what I've paid now. So I'm like, yeah, you're gonna move me down to that front row there. Yeah, then, like fucking quite right.
I can probably get your seats for the same price I paid for mine.
Yeah, you can, mate. I think the seats,
especially with paid for, how much I paid for flights and hotels, I could be ringside.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you've seen a lot of people moaning about that on Twitter, going, "Why would I go there and pay London prices and blah blah?" I mean, my hotel was 110 quid for the weekend. Like, it's not bad. Yeah, I mean, 2 nights, 55 quid a night, and fucking decent enough hotel in Canary Wharf.
Where's your hotel? I made a lot more than that.
And literally, where the Hilton is, it's on a corner of a street. We're straight down and to the right. I'm a fucking 3 to 5 minute walk, not even away from the Hilton. So we plan on heading there on the Saturday as well and trying to, because what we done in March was we went to meet and greets within the Peninsula Square in the arena, standing in the queue that was fucking massively long, mate, waiting for ages and ages, and we wasted so much time. I'd also been texting John Anik, and I was saying to him, if you're up for any chance I can meet you, mate, I'd love to get a picture. Massive fan, all the rest of it. You know what I mean? John Anik, gentleman that he is, got back to me. Yeah, no problem. I'll be in the foyer at this time. Blah blah blah. I was like, cool, no worries. Oh, well, no, he said, yeah, no problem. Just give me a shout on the day. So I was like, cool. So whilst we're in this queue, I walked and I was like, mate, it's getting to like 2:00 now. The event, the gates are opening at 4. Better text John. Are you at the hotel? Are you going to be coming over here soon? Like, when am I going to get the chance to see him? I'll be in the hotel foyer 2:45, getting picked up 2:50, whatever it is. So we were like, fuck this, bounce out of this queue, because it was Arnold Allen, Jerry Prochaska, Joanna Jacek, and
Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. Yeah, it was the meets.
I always get jealous seeing the pictures. Now I finally get to take part. I swear, I don't know who they're gonna bring to this one. I would guess probably Paddy Pimblett and someone else.
Maybe, but I never met Tom and I never met Joanna. But I did meet a hell of a lot of fucking people just fucking off the meet and greets and going to the hotel and standing outside. Fighters and staff. So as soon as I got there, everyone was crowding around a taxi, and I bounced my head in to have a look. It was DC. I was like, fuck, just missed DC by a split second. Next minute, Bisping comes out. He was quite rushed. Right, no, sorry folks, need to go, I'm busy. And I used my northern charm to my advantage. I was like, come on, Mike, fellow Northerner lad, don't fucking walk off and he gives a picture. He was like, right, fucking come on then. I was like, yes. So fucking probably one of the only people there that managed to grab a picture with Mike. I was like, get in. And then obviously I'd been messaging John, so I knew he was coming out. John came out, got my picture with him, stood and spoke to him for 5 minutes. He was brand new with everybody, man. Like, stood, took the time, even changed angles for people to get a better picture and stuff like that with a light, and like proper professional. Even allowed somebody to interview him and just ask him a couple of questions quickly, you know what I mean, until his taxi turned up and took him away. Bruce Buffer came out after that. Who else did we meet? So Marvin Vittori, fucking Cody Starman, Davey Grant, Jerry Prochaska came back from the meet and greets and got out of a taxi to go into the hotel. I was like, mate, what the fuck are we doing? Arnold Allen, you know what I mean? He turned up as well, but I'd already been speaking to him on Insta anyway. Like, me and him have gone back and forth on Insta for quite a while.
Maybe me and you should just go hang out at the Fighter Hotel again.
That's what I said we're going to do. Me, Sean, and like say my cousin Robbie, that's what I'm saying. On Saturday, we'll probably be hanging around the Fighter Hotel for most of it, because you're wasting it. Like, I mean, it's not a sellout this time, so maybe the queues won't be as big, so it'd be worth going over and trying to get.
I wonder who's commentating. I would think John Gooden's commentating.
Oh well, Herb Dean and Mark Goddard as well. I met them too. Everybody ran and swarmed Herb Dean, and I saw Mark at the back, so I just walked around everybody. I was like,
Mark's the GOAT, man. He's the best referee in MMA right now.
I absolutely love him, man. He's brilliant. I'm even trying to reach out to him and see if he'll come on here as well, because I know he's doing a lot of like ref courses and things just now. So yeah, it'd be good to get him on, talk to him about that kind of stuff.
I want to get him on mine too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to commentate. I would say John Gooden, Felder, and Bisping would be my guess. Maybe Dom Cruz.
Oh, definitely Bisping. Yeah, I mean, he's on every British card.
Bisping's a guarantee. I mean, so, John Gooden, I think, is a guarantee as well. He's their European fight night guy, I think.
Yeah.
And Fitzgerald is also a great guy. Follows me on Instagram.
Right. Okay.
And Twitter. John Gooden actually follows me on TikTok, and it's like I post the absolute crap on TikTok.
Fuck, I don't go anywhere near TikTok, mate. I've never downloaded it, and I'm never going to.
It's bad. I've talked to John Gooden a couple of times, but I asked him if he would be available for an interview like on the week that I'm there, but he said, "Look, I'm really busy," which is totally understandable. But yeah, man, it's a crazy sport, and I'm really excited for next week, even if it's not sold out. Like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, no, it should be wicked, especially, I mean, Cage Warriors on the Friday. You're actually working at that. I'm there just as a fan, getting to enjoy it and watch it. It's going to be my first live Cage Warriors event that I'm going to. If you got your media pass and you can come and grab me and drag me into some areas, mate, give us a shout. Mate, I mean,
from what I've heard, the media room isn't spectacular. It's a little tent outside the O2.
Fuck, that's sound. I'll go into a tent with you, man. Just give me a shout if you can take me through to see how all the inner workings of it go.
I will. I'll send you a picture. I'm going to
stay silent. But have you got any interviews lined up for after it? Or, well, what type of work are you going to be doing whilst you're there?
So really, I don't know what to expect. I'm going in for Combat Sports UK and.
Shout out to Lewis, by the way. I mean, phenomenal guy.
Shout out to Lewis.
Huge hard worker, mate. Really respect him, Mike.
Yeah, and a guy who I'm friends with called Billy Darlington. He's a guy. I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of the Combat Sports UK guys. Really cool dude. Okay. He's working the event. He worked the one in March for Combat Sports UK. He's working with me. It's gonna be cool. We've been friends for a long time, so it'll be really cool to meet him, cover an event with him. I don't really know what to expect. From what I've seen, they do a lot of like the scrums, where it's like the fighter stands in front and then asks or answers like 3 questions
Media
from each
questions.
journalist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably not going to get many one-on-ones. I'm going to try. I was thinking about contacting a couple of the fighters. See, can I pull you aside if you win? Like,
Yeah.
I know Jordan Vucenic very well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
he's a
that's
guy.
a bit of a
Yeah.
shit question, isn't it? Can I pull you aside if you win, but if you lose, fuck you?
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, he wouldn't want to talk to media if he loses, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm excited either way. It's experience is an experience, and then I've
Yeah.
got some potential stuff coming up in September that I can't announce yet. But
Mm-hmm.
well, I announced. No, I haven't announced it yet. Well, I can give you a little exclusive here.
Go on.
Combat Sports UK, Frankfurt Octagon. I can't remember the name of the event. Octagon is coming to Frankfurt. I'll be there for Combat Sports UK September. And I've got something else cooking for September that I can't announce yet.
Fantastic, mate. Lovely.
It's September's going to be a good month for me. You'll see when I announce. I've got to wait on a couple things, but yeah, I got some big events coming up that I can cover, and I'm very excited.
Good for you, mate. Good for you.
You should get in like with Combat Sports UK. I'm sure they're
mate.
looking
So
for guys. Like,
that's funny actually, right? So Lewis put out one of his posts probably about a year ago, maybe a bit more now, and I reached out and I was thinking, how am I going to get into this? Like, because I have wanted to do this, like I said. I just didn't know which way I wanted to go about it. So I even considered doing a little bit of writing. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing a little bit of that. I mean, I'm not the most articulate bastard in the world. I swear a lot. I would really need to reel it in and think about what I was going to write out. And he invited me to the team. He set me up with a WordPress. He set me up with everything. You know what I mean? I was all good to go. And I just had loads of things going on at work. My daughter had just been born. There was other things going on. And I just couldn't find the time. And obviously some of these news pieces are so time sensitive. And I just felt like, mate, I've got too much going on. I'm going to be chasing myself. So I ended up messaging Lewis because he messaged me going, oh, you're going to manage to write anything or put anything out because it had been a week or so. And I actually just messaged him saying, look, mate, thanks for the opportunity, but I'm just not in a good place right now to be able to do it. So, you know what I mean? Again, I even said to him again the other day, like, because I think he commented or retweeted one of my podcasts, and I just said, cheers for the opportunity. Hopefully we can do something again in the future. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's something, maybe even if it's just fighter interviews and things like this, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. I do interviews for them. I don't write for them. I'm not the best writer. I did Substack for a while, but then when I was doing my A levels and I just didn't have the time to write. So I think the last article I wrote was probably an April event.
Right, okay.
Might have been Pereira versus Adesanya 2 is what I wrote. Like a fights that you might have missed being announced on this card. But yeah, I mean it's fun, and when it comes to covering events, they don't normally like individuals. They prefer like an organization like Combat Sports UK or Cage Side. Yeah. So, yeah, man, like I covered Glory for Combat Sports UK, and that was really great. So,
nice.
As soon as you can, I think you're well spoken and you have a good knowledge of the sports. I think you would have no problem if you're with an organization getting into an event.
I would love to, mate. If I could turn this into a full-time job, like retail management.
I'm still trying to turn I'm not even getting paid.
I know, mate. And I don't feel like I probably will ever get paid for doing this. It's just a little bit of a passion project and a hobby. But let's see where it goes, man. And just keep fucking pushing and keep doing it. You know what I mean? But yeah, if I could turn this into a job, mate, that would be ideal.
That's the dream, man. That's the dream. Like MMA media is so open as well because it's such a new sport in the grand scheme of things, right?
Especially in the UK, yeah. I mean, and maybe parts of Europe, it isn't as mainstream as it is in
Germany. It's untapped, like yeah. So, yeah, it's such a great sport, and like, if you're a good person, people will respect you and like you. You know, if you're a prick, like no one's gonna want to have you at an event or anything. So. It's just great, man. I love what I do, and it's a passion of mine that like it's gonna live forever. Hopefully, they start doing more EU time friendly events because I'm tired of staying up till 7 a.m. for
fucking right
for fights. I might miss the event this weekend.
I'm not getting any younger, mate. Like I say, 32 with a kid now as well. So these late nights are killing me. I used to be fucking up until silly o'clock in the morning. I'd run on 4. I mean, I still do run on 4 hours kip half the time, but I'd run on 4 hours kip and it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't phase me. I could crack on with my day. But now I'm getting there 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, this on the couch just fucking dropping off, and I'm like, getting old now. It's all catching up. So you mentioned a minute ago you're doing your A levels and stuff. Was any of that within media or sports media or anything like that?
I did an A level in media studies. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
so it wasn't exactly what I expected. It was a lot more about like TV, music, and movies, but it was still fun. I'm glad to have the whole process over with because I had to do it online. Which that I mean, my school stories I could talk about that for a long time. I did that all the last 2 years. I spent doing online school, and I'm so excited just to get back out there and like I had a lot of time in the last 2 years stuck in my room. That's why like the Patrick Mccorry Sports Show grew so much because I had nothing better to do. So now I can get back out there. I can go travel. I can cover events. I have money saved up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm excited for this next. I'm taking a gap year. I got accepted into university, so I'm taking a gap year and seeing what I can do, man. Trust
Nice.
me, like pay attention. For anyone watching, pay attention to my Twitter and my Instagram because a lot of things are going to be posted and things coming soon.
Love it. Love it. So obviously a bit of educational background. At least you've got that kind of. You'd learn more structure and how to go about these things rather than just winging it every day.
A little
You know what I
bit,
mean?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So what out of all of the roles that you've done so far, with like you say, you're right, but it's probably not your strongest point. But your
Nope.
interviews, your podcast, your lives, whatever. What's your favorite part of it all?
It's talking to the fighters, and it's not just talking to the fighters in the way like, oh, I love the sport. It's about hearing stories, and that's
Yeah.
really what I love. I want to give fighters a platform to tell
Mm-hmm.
their story.
Yeah.
Because everyone sees these fighters as meatheads, right? These guys, they get in a locked cage and they beat the crap out of each other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who cares what this guy has to say? He slurs his words. But when you deep dive, like, there's so many interesting stories. Just this weekend about Pantoja and his father, like,
Yeah.
um, so there's so much that is out there and it's untapped. And I feel like with the way I do my interviews, like, I can crack open a little bit. Maybe not crack it all the way open, but
Mm-hmm.
I could make a little bit of indent. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe if I'm not the guy to crack it, maybe someone else cracks it.
Yeah.
But I get that little bit of stuff. So for me, it's about giving these fighters and getting these journalists and getting people to tell their story. Why do they love MMA? What what do they think about their fight? And there's so much to talk about with fighters, and that's what I love, man. As much as I love the sport, I love talking to people, and that's like I've never turned down a podcast. I, I I say on my resume I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking to people. Love hearing what they have to say, even in like a non-interview setting. Like if me and you were to meet in London, I'll chat to you like we're just mates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And same with fighters, same with journalists. Like I just want to understand you and what makes you tick, right?
Yeah, 100%. Again, like I said earlier on, that's why the whole reason why I wanted to do this. I just wanted to speak to people. I mean, I don't want it to feel like a formal fucking interview. I'd rather
Yeah.
it just be a conversation where they flow. Like I say, I've got my structure here and I've got the things that we want to go over. I don't need to specifically stick to it as we've gone down. I mean,
Exactly.
there is bits where I'm like, oh, let's hold that for now and we'll just come back to it because it's maybe a piece that I actually want to spend a little bit more time on. I mean, but
Yeah.
I just want it free flowing conversation, find out how people got into stuff, how they enjoy it, what makes them tick, like you say. I mean, so nah, mate, fucking good shout on that one. I've never done any educational thing like that. I've done GCSEs, fucking absolutely abysmals. I mean, like fucking probably 1C, D's and E's, and the rest of them I really did not like school. I fucking hated it. I got bullied from the majority of it. I mean, as most people do going through high school. I mean, it's just. It wasn't a good time for me, and it just wasn't something I was interested in. I don't learn. Oh, my dog's going nuts with his ball. I don't learn. I don't learn through sitting down and reading. I mean, I learn by
No,
doing
it's
and
it's
through people and experience. And so the indoctrination style of school was not really for me. It wasn't the way that I, like I say, learn and pick things up. So
Yeah, I like to learn by doing.
hmm
And like over the last 3 years, I've learned how to do this, and I'm not done learning. Like that's why I love. Like I can learn on the job. If I go to Cage Warriors, someone will give me a tip. I'll be like, man, that's a really great tip. I'm going to
yeah,
use that in my next
hmm
my next interview or next time I work press. So
yeah,
there's just so much, and it's like there's always where ways to learn. And for me, like school was never my strong suit. Like I passed and I'm good, but it was never my favorite thing. I hated sitting down and doing school, sitting in a classroom, and like it wasn't me. And I spent a lot of time. I got told off by teachers multiple times. I'd go stare out the window And so I was never allowed to sit at the window ever again because I would just during class I'd be like, "What's that guy doing in the parking lot?"
And just get distracted completely. Like all of my work would end up in my backpack, and then by the end of the year, my backpack would be so fucking heavy because all my homework and everything would be in it, and I'd never.
It's just crumpled up little bits.
Yeah,
of paper
man, it would just end up in the bottom of the bag, but it'd all just build and build and build, and then I'd get to the end of the year and put it all in the bin. You know what I mean? I really did not give a fuck. Like it was. See if as people always say, oh, when you're older, like if I could go back and do it all again, I'd probably go back and try a little bit harder. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I wouldn't be who I am today from it. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a double-edged sword of which way would you actually go about that? You know what I mean? So I see you sitting there.
Go back and do it all again.
You're wearing your Nathaniel Wood Prospect apparel, mate, flexing. You know what I mean? How did that come about? You just speak to the man, or is it just because you guys have such a good rapport? You've been talking for so long. It was just, yo, man, I love you. I love your stuff. I want to promote it and whatever.
Yeah. So me and Nathaniel have always gotten on. I interviewed him a long time ago, and we've always just kind of like chatting DMs. I would pitch matchups to him, and we just chat. And then it was September of last year. It was after the Jordan fight, and I knew he had Prospect apparel because I had owned a shirt before that because I just liked the clothing brand. It was really comfortable, and I heard him talk a lot and being like, "Man, I want to grow this. I want to, this is what he wants to promote this brand and everything." So I said to him after an interview, I said, "Look, man, I'm looking for a new sponsor. I had a sponsor before, Head Rush. You've seen it on Dustin Poirier and Carlos Condit. It wasn't like 100% like transparent conversation with them. They sent me one batch of stuff and then like they never promoted me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted like a good sponsor that would promote me. And I knew Nathaniel very well. He knew me well. That's why, he's not just going to give a sponsor out to anyone, send them stuff. So, I said to him, look, I know you want to promote this. And I've not got a big platform, but I've got a platform where I can promote it. I can get you likes. I can get you retweets. Like I can post this. I have 3 of the new caps. I can show you them in a minute. But I said, look, I'll ask. I don't want a payment. If you can just send me the new items or whatever you have that's coming up, I'll wear it in the videos. I'll promote it. I'll post about you. I'll post things on my story. Post things on my Twitter. And that's all I wanted. As long as we had like a transparent relationship about it. And he's about to send me the latest T-shirts. So we're still going and we chat all the time. And it's really, really great. And I've had people say, "Oh, it's unprofessional. You're doing business with a fighter." It's not unprofessional because I don't see it as a fighter kind of thing. I see it as
you're not a ref, you're not a judge.
It's a clothing brand.
You're not a ref, you're not a fucking judge. You're no official for the UFC or any kind of MMA promotion. So there's no bias that you could have there that would influence anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I'll show them on camera. These are the newer caps. This is a pink one. They're much sleeker. I have an older cap that's somewhere. And there's a black one and a beige one, and they're really, really great. And
they look like good quality anyway. So
they're really good quality. The shirts are good quality, and especially for the summertime where it's 35 degrees right now. These shirts are really, really good.
Oh, is it? That's lovely. That it's fucking a bag of
no,
shite.
It's not. There's no airflow. There's no airflow whatsoever.
It's raining every day, and it's muggy as out, and it's just like, ugh. So, how's your German? You speak German?
Yeah, well, I've lived here for 12 years, so my German, I say it's near fluent because I work and stuff. I'm always speaking German. So if you were here, like, I speak German all the time when I'm out and about, and I have German friends, and like I was a party the other night and all speaking German. And so, my German, like when I go to work and stuff, like my brain switches into like almost like a German mindset, you know what I mean? So like if I were to speak German, you'd hear speak German, you would probably think, oh, that's quite a harsh language. Because it's very
there's 2 different dialects to it, isn't it? Really, there's like High German and Low German. Like
the dialect that's here, it's called Hessisch because I live in Hessen, right? That's the state.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Hessisch. It's the most nightmare dialect ever because it's kind of like it's like it's the worst.
The stereotypical kind of.
I see it I hear it at work all the time, and now I've gotten to a point where I recognize people who will speak with this Hessisch accent. I'm like, oh no, don't ask me a question. Don't ask me a question. So it's It's yeah, I speak German on a very high level. I did it in my A levels. I got an A star on my GCSEs with
Nice.
German.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, it was funny is I've always corrected my German teachers, then and they give me bad grades, and then I ace the exams. So
That fuck you.
um, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's always funny correcting my German teachers. But then like I would get in a lot of trouble in German class because I would speak with the street German, like
Yeah.
they call it the Umgangssprache, like the conversational German.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain words that aren't used in traditional writing German,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'd get in a lot of trouble for using that in my writing, and they'd be like, "Patrick, that's wrong." It's like, well, really, it's not. But if you look at it from a formal school point of view, yes. But in terms of who am I going to talk to? Because that's what you use language for, right? You talk
Yeah.
to people, and so I use this German, and that is the correct German to me.
I went on Duolingo and started fucking around with that a little bit. So I picked up like I could come in and ask you for a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or fucking,
That's all you
I mean,
need.
if I
That's all
want
you need.
milk or
Especially
water
where I live.
or
Like if you were to
whatever,
come
you know
here,
what I mean?
the amount of English you hear is like in Frankfurt, it's so international. Like
Right, okay.
so,
Um,
yeah, a cup of coffee question is the
and
question
that'd
you
be
need.
fucking bread, and brought. I mean, a few
Yeah,
different things in there. I mean,
yeah, you got it.
what was the other one from a song? There's an artist that I listen to that's wearing it just now. Beans on Toast. He's a British folk singer. He does a song, and he speaks a lot of German. Just in Schildergun, obviously. Sorry, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And then at the end of it, well, no, actually, it's in the chorus. In the chorus is Friede auf Erden, which obviously just peace to the world or something along those lines. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So. Right, that's about as far as my fucking German goes. I ain't no fluent bastard in it, but
And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always fun with German. And when I go to other countries, like where I visit family, my cousin would be like, "Oh, speak some German for us," and I never have any idea what to say. What
yeah,
am I
because you get
supposed to say in
put
that?
on the fucking spot. Yeah, I mean, so
It's like, and then also like if I speak German to someone, like obviously it sounded better when I was speaking to you there, but like if someone's like, "Oh, speak German," it's never gonna sound good.
no.
If you
Mm-hmm.
hear me naturally speaking German, like with a colleague or with a friend, like I sound near fluent, but then sometimes I'll get a customer and they're like, "You're not from here, are you?" It's like, "No, I'm not." And I have to explain to them where I'm from. It's like, "Is it really that bad?" And they're like, "No, it's just a couple it's a couple of
You
the
just notice
umlaut
it.
words
Uh huh.
and things like that just don't sound 100% right." It's like, okay, fine. Would you prefer I speak to you in English then? And they're like, no, we only speak German. It's like, okay, then don't correct my German. What I'm saying is correct. It's just it doesn't always sound the best.
Sound.
Like
Yeah, yeah. Uh
certain
huh.
words, like it's just like I can't roll my R's, and that's why I was always rubbish in oral Spanish exams.
I mean,
I
you think
can't
you
roll
should
my
be
R's.
able to coming from Scotland with 6 years of your life because it's very erotic speaking, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, they
Right.
roll their
No,
R's a lot of the time.
I
So,
should, but then sometimes I can roll my R's with German, but then with Spanish I could never.
Spanish is solid, man. Like, so when again, Duolingo, so I was just going through trying to learn a bit of Spanish, bit of fucking German, bit of French, whatever. I mean, just enough to get by. Um, and I found Spanish to probably be one of the hardest languages to fucking learn. To be honest with you, it's that German is so close to English language as well. It is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of words that are very very similar.
if you
So
can
it's
speak English, you can pick up German.
uh
So there's, yeah, it's not a nightmare language to speak. A lot of people think it's aggressive, but it's really not. It's just certain words will sound a little more throaty than others.
just the tone, really, isn't it? That's it. So,
Exactly.
let's get back into the main stuff for the MMA and that. So obviously, you've interviewed quite a few fighters so far, haven't you, within your
Yeah.
career? Let's ignore Nathaniel Wood. Who's your favorite that you've interviewed so far? Out with Nathaniel Wood.
I would say Tim Elliott. I've interviewed him multiple times. Like he's my favorite fighter with Nathaniel Wood. Like those are two guys
Yeah.
I really love. And I shouldn't say that as a media person, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a well known fact. I put it out there quite a lot.
Yeah.
And another one that people, it's my main thing that I've put on my YouTube. It's Paddy the Baddy. Interviewed him twice.
Oh, have you? Nice, mate.
And
Nice.
yeah, interviewed him twice. Interviewed him before his debut, and then before the Kazula Vargas fight.
Right.
And then he's
Okay.
been suspended on Twitter, so I haven't been able to chat to him since.
He's back on Twitter now, though, isn't it? I thought he got it.
Yeah, but he's not really
He's
on
not
it.
asked
I've
about it.
tried.
Yeah, he's not. And Insta's too fucking. Because I thought about reaching out to him as well.
Instagram, he's got like 2 million followers. I'll never reach him.
See, you're never going to get to him in his DMs. Like, I don't even know if they're open to be able to get messages. And some of them seem to have it as this business account. So it's like, are they even going to see this? You know what I mean? But I spoke to him a lot on Twitter, man, like back and forth when he was first on there and he was first coming up. Yeah, I mean,
no, he was always interacting, and
yeah, man, he was brilliant. Yeah, and
that's how I got the first interview, because he just tweeted in 2020 or 2021 before his first fight. He was just like, right, what podcast should I come on? I was just like, me.
Come
I got the
chat to me,
interview,
mate. No, fantastic. I'd love
and
to
the
get
second
him
one,
on,
he
mate.
took the interview and he was in a bath, which it's iconic now with certain people. He's lying in the bath and doing an interview with me. I was scared to see it, like a reflection in a tap or something. I was like, don't get me cancelled, or like don't get my channel striked.
Here's Paddy, and you can see the baddie. You know what I mean, that's fucking gonna go. Oh, mate, fuck yeah! I'd love to talk to him
when I was taking a drink of water.
I've got a lot from watching his content and see him speaking to people in podcasts and things. He's very relatable. Yeah, I mean, he's very likable. Like,
he's a really nice guy,
fat bastards that can eat the planet. Like, that's one thing.
I'm trying to fast and diet a little bit now, but it's tough. Like I see a little pack of Haribo or
gotta go for it,
or just a little piece of cake or.
I'm a chocolate guy, mate. I
can't resist chicken and pizza. Mm-hmm. Chicken and pizza, like, crack for me, and especially like where I work, it's right next to a food court.
Yeah, and
like I'll forget my lunch, and like, man, I have to go to the food court, and I see like, oh, a noodle box, probably healthier in the grand scheme of thing, and then my eyes always go to KFC, and I'm like, dang it, I have to go get a KFC.
What do you get at KFC?
It's just a crappy little chicken box. I don't have enough time to And also, like, fast food here is much worse than in the UK, by the way.
Oh, really?
It's really, really basic. Like, I was in Belfast a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you tried them, but Burger King, there's a Burger King in the Tesco's next to where my Nana lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they have these Dorito heat wave chicken
I've
fries.
seen them. I've not tried them, but I keep thinking about giving them a go. Are they phenomenal?
Give them a go. Give them a go, man. They're really good. But yeah, it's not as good. We never get like any of the special meals, and my little brother was talking about the Grimace shake thing. I don't know if you've seen that trend.
No,
it's
I don't
like
think so.
Grimace is like one of their mascots at, I don't know, McDonald's, and so this trend is like, it's like a happy birthday shake from when they like invented this character, or his kid's character, and so they drink it, and then like it's supposed to have a bad reaction. So then they'll drink and be like, oh, this is really good, and then it cuts to like them like hung up upside down, coughing up the Grimace shake. It's just like, it's a really weird trend, but it's like you can't get any of that cool, like, fun stuff here. So like,
no, I've not even seen that. Not even seen that at all.
It's a really weird trend. It's all over TikTok. It's like, I got 3 videos of it in a row. It's like, I don't want to watch these anymore. They're really weird trends.
That's the thing about TikTok, innit? It just seems to be sending these fucking kids on trends left, right, and center. Of one person does
that Prime stuff, by the way. Like, I haven't tried Prime.
Neither have I.
Like,
they're getting investigated now, though, aren't they? Because apparently there's about 6 times the amount of fucking caffeine in it and what you would normally
get. So apparently they don't make it clear enough that these are the energy drinks. So these kids, they go in the store and like, oh my God, I found Prime. And they buy the energy drinks. And then like the sports drink is advertised of having low sugar, electrolytes, and all these things. And that looks good, right? But then the energy drink, 6 times the caffeine. That is a ridiculous amount of caffeine.
Of a can of Coke or something, 6 times the caffeine of a can of Coke.
That is a ridiculous amount of caffeine.
Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know what the regulations are like in Germany. From the sounds of it, they're a bit more strict than what they are in the UK. But you can't even buy an energy drink unless you're 16 and over now, and you need to be able to.
I still get ID'd. I still get ID'd every time.
Mate, so do I, and I'm 32. Don't worry about it. Fucking, we got a bit of a.
I got ID'd for a donut not long ago because I had liqueur on it. I got ID'd for a donut. I didn't even realize it was like a vanilla topping donut. And I put it on the till. I was like, okay, it was like €1, right? I just wanted a quick snack. Put it on the till, and the lady says, okay, I need to check your ID. It's like, what? She's like, for a donut, for this donut. I was like, why? It's like, can I just have the donut? Like, I'm in a rush. I need to get back to work. And she was like, I need your ID. I had my ID on me. I always have it on me, but it was like, I asked her, like, why? Like, it's just a donut. It's like a vanilla donut. She's like, oh, well, it has alcohol in it. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get buzzed off a donut. Like,
well, what alcohol was even in it? A bit of brandy or something?
I guess it was like a liqueur. I don't know what it was, but it like
nice?
It was nice. It was a nice donut. I would do it again. I would do the whole process again.
I'll argue about it again too.
I'll have to fight with it, but it was just like, it was weird. But yeah, I get ID'd all the time. But yeah, energy drinks, I don't know what's going on with Prime, but like when I was in Belfast, I went into the mall and they have this like American candy shop. and the sign on it was written on a piece of paper, sellotape to the door, Prime drink inside.
Everybody went fucking nuts. Everybody went fucking mental for it. But
And so I go in. Yeah, I go in. I wasn't gonna buy it, but I was like, okay, what's the price they're charging here? I was gonna get some like, because I like sweets a lot, so I was like, okay, can I find some like cheap sweets or something after writing an exam? And go and I can't find it. I finally find it on the counter, and it's a tenner for a small can of Prime. It's like no chance. So then I come back here, and I was on my break at work. I go into this little, like, again, an American candy store. They're just everywhere, right? And I go in, and I see this like small thing, like a small little shelf with like the blue raspberry prime, like the hydration drink on the shelf. €11 for a bottle. It's like, who pays that?
Oh no, is it small company, smaller stores, like a corner store or whatever? It's not. It's not like a corporation, like a supermarket or anything, because they've got recommended retail prices they need to stick to and shit.
Lifting the price up like crazy too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's happening with everything around the world.
I like what Tyson Fury's done with his drink. You see, he sold it to Poundland in Iceland, and it's only £1.50 or something. So it's like
Paddy's on. Is that the same one as Paddy? It's not G Fuel, is it? What the fuck is it called?
Paddy the Baddy Fuel. I tried that in Belfast too. That was cheap as well. Like that was in Spar.
Yeah, I've seen that in like in B&M bargains. So like, if you know what that is, you know what I mean. It's like
I know it is.
Discount store, like kind of like the pound shop, like pound stretcher type of thing, like, or Dollarama for the Americans that might watch this. I mean, it's kind of like one of those stores. But yeah, you find it everywhere. It's mental. But don't get me wrong, Logan Paul and KSI very, very, very fucking smart the way they've done this. Obviously,
they're very smart. You know, they're sponsoring Barcelona and Arsenal now, which is nuts. But
I think from a public's perspective, rather than that, like, but to actually drive it amongst these kids for the
price you're charging for it. Like, kids have been hospitalized drinking this energy drink.
I know, but I mean, like, within a normal shop, maybe you went to a supermarket, you're gonna get it at your normal £2, £3 price mark. You know what I mean? But it's the people that are buying it. And there was a shop in England, Wakey something. He was on TikTok.
Yeah, Wakey Wines.
Wakey Wines, mate. He was charging £1,200 for a case. For 12 bottles, £100
and
a bottle.
He was making that money.
You've got cunts walking in there with fucking children. What are you teaching your kid if you're walking in there putting £1,200 down?
Getting it for their kids because their kids won't. I was talking, my Nana's friends were over and we were having like a chat, and they said for their grandkid, all this kid wanted for his birthday was Prime.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck is that?
And so they were in America at the time, so they were able to get a bunch of cases of Prime.
Yeah.
You know what this kid was doing? He was selling them at school.
Yeah, man. So I've, like I say, retail management. I've got a mate whose kids went and bought fucking tons of bottles of it as well. And then
people fill them with water and then resell them too.
He was telling me his son's taking it into school and selling it because it sold out dead quick. You know what I mean? All the kids, I had kids fucking crying and everything trying to get it. And when we'd sold out, and I'm just like, what is going on here, man? This is like a mad hysteria. But anyway, my pal was telling me his son takes him into school. He even fucking gave. I think his mum had been to Boston and she come back with these Prime sachets, you know, that you just add them to water and then it would obviously make it. He was swapping sachets for like a burger or a pie or whatever. I mean, he's giving some kid a sachet. I know, mate. You can just get yourself fed all day, every day on the back of some fucking Prime sachets. I was like, this is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
What kind of burger is he getting? Is it like a Rustler's
No, just like a fucking cheeseburger.
If someone tries to offer me a Rustler's, I'm calling the police.
Yeah. Like, fuck. But no, like a genuine fucking solid beef burger, cheeseburger, whatever. Here you go. You know what I mean? Or even like a fucking steak and kidney, a steak and ale pie or whatever the fuck he was getting. But I was like, that's absolutely mental, man. We were selling fags for 50p when we were in school. Yeah, I mean, we'd just go into the shop, try and get served underage, walk into school with your 10 fags and sell each one of them for 50p. Triple your money, go back, buy another pack, and you've got some money in your pocket. Yeah, I mean, that was the way things went for us. That was mental.
It's nuts, man.
It's fucking mental. Like I say, hats off to them because they drove that demand and never had the supply, so they sold out everywhere as soon as it landed in stores left, right, and center, and people were just going.
And now they've got their name on the UFC, in the Premier League, in the La Liga. Like, it's nuts, and it's not even launched in all these countries. Like, it's apparently just launched in Germany. I haven't been able to find it at any stores. Like, I've gone in and looked, and it's like if it was like €2, I'd be like, okay, fine, I'll buy one bottle, right? Like when I sent my little brother who's 14, he's on a school trip right now, but I sent him a picture when I was in Belfast of the like the Prime drink, like for 11 or £10, laughing, right? It was like, oh, that's funny. 10 minutes later, I'm walking down the road. I get this voice message. I'm like, Chris never sends me voice messages, right? So I listen, and there's this little friend going, "Can you please buy me one? I'll give you 20 euro when you come back." It's like, I was tempted. I was like, "Is that a good enough return?"
Uh-huh.
Like, I was
No.
like tempted to upcharge him more,
You
but
got
no.
you got air
I was like,
charges and
no,
everything to go on top of that as well, son. Don't you worry about
no,
it.
I didn't do it. But it was like, Jesus, this is like crack cocaine for kids.
It is, mate. There was even adults snatching it out of people's baskets and all sorts that you've seen,
I
like
know
from some
in
of the
in
news
Asda,
channels
like
and
it's
stuff, mate.
nuts. I've seen the videos and they're like trampeding
Right,
or
unbelievable.
stampeding. Sorry, not
Yeah,
trampeding.
yeah. They're trampling on people while stampeding. Yeah, I mean, I know where
Yeah,
you were going with that. Don't
exactly.
worry about it, mate. So, right, fuck Prime, fuck them too. I mean, they're
Yeah,
successful
no.
enough. What highlights of your career, mate? Go and tell me some of them. What's your top points so far?
A
For
top
for
point
being
for me.
18, mate, I honestly cannot fucking believe that. I thought you'd been
Yeah,
doing this for a bit longer and you were a bit older. Like I say, you carry yourself
yeah.
quite well. So, highlights of your career, mate. Go for it.
Well, last year, August 2022, I was in the States. I was in Massachusetts, and this town that my grandma lives in. There was an MMA event there. I'd been in contact a little bit with them. Like, I saw them on TikTok. They got really big on TikTok. Shout out to Cage Titans. And I contacted them and was like, hey, I might be around. Could I get credentialed? I'd love to cover the event. They're like, yeah. And when I got the credentials set,
Oh,
I
losing you
started
a little bit
messaging.
here.
I started. Oh, am I back?
Your screen's froze. On I can just about hear you, but it went a bit robotic for a second. One
Oh,
second. See what
am I
happens.
back?
No, it still froze.
Is it my fault?
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm connected through the LAN as well. So, but we could just kind of.
Can you hear me? Okay? Am I
I
still
can hear you
frozen?
fine. Yeah, yeah. You're still frozen, but I can still hear you. So just rock and roll, mate. Continue with your story. Sorry, man.
So I when I got that, I started contacting all these fighters. And I had a little bit of contact with them before, like Jojo Giannetti, former Ultimate Fighter finalist, fights out there, and I had contact with him and a couple of these amateur fighters who trained at Lozon MMA.
Yeah.
Joe Lozon's gym. And as it got closer, one of them who I'm friends with, shout out to Dan Walsh, who's the best nickname in MMA, Only Dan. I love his nickname. And Shane Wellman, two amateur fighters. They're like, "Do you want to come down to the gym?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "I'm being invited to a gym that Joe Lozon owns." Joe Lozon gave the okay. I came down,
Phenomenal.
took photos, did an interview with Joe Lozon. Really, really cool experience. And then I did the 5-week press conference, weigh-ins, and then my big brother had just moved back to Massachusetts. He's actually coming back home soon. And I asked, I have to bring my big brother, show him what I do. So I got to bring my big brother in for the weigh-ins and for the fight night, and that was a really, really cool experience covering the fight. There were 18 fights, pro and amateur, Muay Thai, MMA.
Yeah.
Really, really cool experience. Front row seats. I mean, I could talk about Cage Titans forever. So many great fights.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to a guy. He was I want to say he was 4-3 amateur. Now he's a 4-0 pro.
Yeah.
Andrew Valdina, great fighter. Sent me his shirts. Really cool guy. If you look at my show, I've had him on multiple times. Really, just it's like they're a family out there, and that's like I love Cage Titans, and I love their whole vibe out there. A couple more highlights I'm trying to think. Glory was pretty cool. Matt Alex Pereira out there.
Nice.
Got a little fist bump from him. It felt like I was fist bumping a rock.
Same with Marvin Vittori. If you ever meet him, man, like so, these people are big, but when you really meet them, like real life, you know what I mean, and you see the fucking size of them. Marvin Vittori's hands were like boulders, man, and he come walking out and fist bump me, and I was just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Got me wanting to take a punch from you, but sorry, go on, continue.
No, don't worry. So yeah, I met Alex Pereira, did the Glory event. That was really great. But then highlights of my career. I never really thought about highlights. I mean, Brett Okamoto's a big one. Had a lot of content.
Huge. Mm-hmm.
Interviewed him in May of last year. Filmed 3 videos with him in one. Did a breakdown for 274 and Cheeto versus Font.
Yeah.
Then interviewed him, and then in January of this year, we did a breakdown for what's to come this year.
Right. Okay.
And that was really cool. It was sadly we're not going to be able to meet in London And yeah, I hope to meet him one day. He's really cool. Follows me on Instagram and gives me loads of advice when I ask for it.
Yeah.
I'll send him like my media day clips, or he'll say like, dude, you're killing these media days. Like, it's just really great contact to have, and shout out to him. I mean, he doesn't need a shout out, but he's really great. He's helped me a lot, given me a lot of really great tips. And even like, he's not giving tips, just the encouragement. It's like, dude, you're crushing it, keep going. Or I'll see him, like one of my posts. I'm like, he's keeping tabs. He knows what I'm doing.
Seeing it. Yeah, but that's it, because you could be in the middle of a week where you're feeling really shit about what you're doing, and maybe in a bad mindset of, am I doing this right? Am I pursuing this properly? You know what I mean?
I'm seeing such and such covering an event. Why aren't I covering the event?
But not even that. Yeah, I mean, that's probably something that you'll grow out of as you get older. That's probably a bit more ego. No,
definitely. I know opportunities are coming my way. So
you just need to take what you can and work with.
I'm not jealous of people anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the absolute killers. Is don't be jealous. Why not support each other and build each other up? And
so like that's why I love going on podcasts, and like yourself, you're a great dude, and like I know you, so I know like what to expect on a podcast.
Yeah.
So
what you see with what you get with me, like, so see if I respond to something on Twitter, I've probably literally said that exact same sentence in my head or out loud before it's even gone on, because that's what a lot of people notice about me if I'm in group chats, is I've no filter, and it just whatever comes to mind is just what I put. You know what I mean? I don't sit back and really think about what I'm going to say. I'm an open book. What you see is what you get, type of thing. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's probably the best way to be honest with you. There's no fucking around, no smokes and fucking curtains or anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, exactly. And like that's why I always have my DMs open. If anyone needs advice or wants to talk to me, I've given you advice and stuff. Like, anyone wants advice, message me, about how to get started, or how to conduct an interview, whatever it is, media day, contact me, and most likely I'll send you a voice message, because I make typos all the time. So voice messages are my favorite. I send you 2 like 3-minute long voice messages.
Fucking sound, mate. Yeah, I mean, I was driving as well, so it was actually ideal. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to try and read anything. I could just push the button and just listen to them as they came through the car. So it was perfect, to be honest. I noticed a lot of people like do voice notes. Maybe it's just my age. I'm just old school and I like typing it out. You know what I mean? But I try and get into them a bit more. I feel a bit funny doing them sometimes, but
it is a bit funny.
They're growing on me.
Yeah, I've done them in public, and people are like staring at me like, "Who is he talking to? What is he talking about?" But I sometimes, like, I'll be on my way home from work or something, and I'll be walking to my bus or walking to my train, and I'll just be like, "Oh, I don't really want to type in." Like, they know I've seen the message, and that's the worst part when you accidentally click on an Instagram message. It's like, "Oh no, now I have to respond to something."
But do you not think that's just like a bad part of today's society, that you feel that you need to respond to things instantly as soon as you read something? Like, you know what I mean? The text message, even these days, your SMS text messages are all linked now, so that they know when you've got it, when it was delivered, when you've read it. Same with WhatsApp, all the rest of it, and it kind of has that thing that makes people go, "Oh fuck, I need a fucking answer now because he's thingy." But sometimes you can just ghost people too, and they get annoyed. You know what I mean? But it seems to be a common thing with instant responses. But fuck.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. So yeah, I love this game, and like, it's like I'm in a group chat with a bunch of young media guys, and it's like, why compete with each other when we can grow together, have experiences together, and work hard together, and achieve our dreams together? You know what I mean? We all 100%. Dream of doing things, so why not help each other get there? And like, you'll see I do Instagram lives all the time. I'm in them with people. Like, if you wanted to join Instagram live, I'll do one happily with you anytime. Like, I love doing the lives and answering questions, and so like, for any young journalist, like, I'm no Brett Okamoto, I'm no big gun, but I have experience, and I'm young, so like, I have long ways to go. I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, I'm not I'm not looking to be working for ESPN or BT Sport in a year. I think a lot of people, they get frustrated. Why did my interview only get 5 views? If you build consistency and work hard, you're gonna get followers and views. Like, that's.
Do you go back and look at that stuff? I know some people probably obsessed with it, but I post and ghost I'll go onto my analytics and I'll have a look at things, because it does give you the insight of.
I look at it. I used to get really discouraged by it though. I'd see, like, my interview only get 20 views. I'm like, what did I do wrong? It's been 20 views in a month. And like,
did you look at audience retention on that? So I've looked at things where it's like, you only got 5 views. But then you look at it and you go, but those 5 people actually listen to the full fucking thing. But then I've got other ones where I've got maybe 50 views and the audience retention is probably about 40%. And you're just like, right, what was different about that one compared to that one? So the way I look at it is, yeah, it might be a bit discouraging seeing a minimal amount of views, but there is still data you can extract from within that to why did that do so well, even though with a little views, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
and it's also experience, and like with Twitter, like it's hard to get a lot of followers, especially with like the Twitter blue thing. That's really suppressed things. So
well, actually, right. So even think about this. Go and look at John Anik and the Kenny Florian and their podcast. So they can put a tweet out about Anik can put down a tweet about landing in this city to do this event or whatever, and it fucking blows up. Or he'll put out his polls and it can blow up people commenting on it or whatever. But then you look at when they post saying this podcast has just gone live. Even Matt Frivola yesterday, this podcast has gone live. The engagement he usually gets, it's funny. It's like people just disengage with that kind of tweet.
I think Twitter also suppresses links. So if you put a link in your tweet, it suppresses it because they don't want people going to other sites.
Yeah, they don't want you going to YouTube or Spotify.
Normally, I'll put the link in a subtweet. So if I post about an interview, you've seen like I'll post a video, like a 2-minute clip.
Yeah,
and then I'll post
subtweet.
Like the subtweet, and I'll post the link to it.
So I've started doing that a couple of times as well, but I still feel like it was still suppressed. So even though you're doing it as a subtweet where you add another one, I still believe that the algorithm's looking at that as an overall one tweet, and I don't. You definitely.
It's really hard to get interaction to your YouTube, and like I have 1,600 Twitter followers. I don't even pay that much attention to it anymore. I don't get interaction really on tweets, but if I can show that I'm working hard, then like people start to recognize it, you know?
Yeah.
And like the real ones watch and the real ones stick around and say, hey man, you're doing really well. And you know, oh cool, you interviewed such and such. Like, so, and like, you know, I'll get an interview clip every once in a while that bangs. I had, when I was at Media Day for PFL, Elena Kolesnik, Ukrainian fighter, she shut me down, posted that, got a couple hundred likes. That was fun. It was a funny clip. She like, she didn't like my question at all and shut me down for it. So, and then, and what was funny is then she misses weight. So I quote tweeted and she's, because she was talking, I asked her about like past fights and her opponent, like how does she watch film and stuff. And she was saying, I don't care about the past. I jacked a car in the past doesn't matter, stuff like that. And so I quote tweeted it, my own tweet, and I said, she just missed weight and got that banged as well. So Twitter's a weird thing, and it's hard to get banger tweets. Like I don't know how, like Mac Malley and stuff, they bang every single event.
He knocks them out all the time, mate. So I've spoken on the phone with Mac and everything, man. He's so fucking quick-witted. He's so clever, like. And he gets them every... I don't know if it's just the vast years of doing this now, because obviously been on Twitter for so long as well, but he's just so quick, man. And
he's really quick, and he has the perfect memes. And
it's his personality too, though, man, and the way that he goes about things. You don't see him bad-mouthing nobody. I mean, he's always polite. He interacts with quite a lot of people. He'll jump on other people's tweets as well. I mean, he's not one of these ego profiles that are on there. And he's a real dude. He puts his face in it. He's not one of these stupid fucking trolls. And that's what anybody that I see on there that's being a dickhead for no reason, being racist, doing whatever it is that they want to do. You're getting muted, and I'm not asked. You're getting muted, and I'm cracking on with my life. I've got loads of people on there, like you say, you get the real ones that come back. You know who the real ones are, because they're genuine people, man, and they're on there every single fucking day, and you can speak to them about real stuff, and there's no toxicity about it. I mean, you can have a fucking full-on conversation about this fighter and that fighter, and it's not war and peace. I mean, it's not like, oh, now let's start throwing insults and let's get so far away from the original tweet that we're now arguing about something completely fucking different. I mean, it's real conversations with real people, and you know who they are.
I stopped engaging with trolls and idiots online. It's like, you know, I would start replying to, and I'd get an argument. Like I remember I had a faceless troll say I looked like I had fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was just like, your profile picture is Ilya Tapuria. Like, show yourself.
Let's see who you are to be fucking judging anybody. I mean, that's the problem. And, like, where is that?
They took a screen. It was kind of funny at the same time. They took a screenshot of my face and then a screenshot of this diagram about how it fits. And it was like, really, dude, you're putting this much effort into this. You could put that much effort into a job application.
Shows how sad they are, mate. And it's not something that you should ever be fucking thinking.
No.
like bad about yourself with it. You know what I mean? Fuck them.
I don't think bad about my looks. Like
there's no point in raising to it or anything. Yeah, I mean, just leave them be and just fucking mute them, block them, whatever you gotta do, and just crack on with your life.
Blocking gives them satisfaction, but they don't know that you mute them. So I just mute them.
I mute because I'm the same, because they can just screenshot the block and be like, oh, look, he blocks me.
Block, I own you.
Yeah. Well, Lil Bro and all the rest. Fuck off, Lil Bro, man. 32-year-old man, and I'd kick your ass if I seen you in the fucking street. You know what I mean? Half of them are probably your age, mate, and. Yeah, I mean, and again, it's probably they haven't had that experience in life. They've not got the maturity, because making a joke about the way you look, especially going for something like that, you know what I mean? That is a serious fucking thing.
That's a serious thing, yeah.
Yeah, and they're making light work of it. They've clearly got no kids or anything of their own. They've got no empathy. They've probably had a shit life, whatever it is, and they're just projecting, you know what I mean? And that's just one way I always look at it.
I replied to them one time. They took a screenshot of me. I was like, congratulations, you took a screenshot of me interviewing Brett Okamoto. Really good screenshot, dude.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Have a wank over that if you want. I'm not asked. You know what I mean? Like,
they didn't even crop it. I was like, if you cropped it, maybe that could have helped. But like, I know what shirts I wear in my interviews. So I'm like, I know what interview that Simpson shirt is from. Like, I know who I interview with that Simpson shirt, because sometimes I'll coordinate what shirt I wear to people. Like when I interviewed Paddy the Baddy, I wore my Liverpool top because like I knew
common ground.
And
that's what a lot of people don't know. I mean, that's going to be relatable for him. It's going to be something interesting, something from his home, something that he's passionate about and loves.
No, we talked about Liverpool United. I can't remember what game it was. We won the game, but like we just chatted about the game. I was like, because the game was that day.
Yeah. I
was like, how do you think we'll win? And he said, what, 4-1? I think we did win, like 4-1 or something, 3-1 maybe. And then he said, I think Josh is going to score and such. And then we went off, and it was like the game was just kicking off. So sat down, and I texted him after the game. I was like, dude, you nailed it.
Yeah.
And that was a conversation we had. Like a lot of fighters, like, they won't follow you after you post the interview. They're like, all right, cool, interview done. Like, who cares? But if you can build a relationship with them, then it's really good. And I try and build a relationship with fighters. Some are a little more closed off than others. So you just got to be smart about also like how you post about them.
Yeah. You also got to remember they're human at the end of the day too. They've got a full life behind them. They've got families, they've got responsibilities, they've got all the rest of it. They're not just there to be.
They've got to train 3 times a day. So them taking 25 minutes out of their day to come chat to a kid with a YouTube channel.
Exactly, and especially when they're working their way towards a fight, they've got training regimes, they've got fucking dietary requirements, all of it.
I don't think they want to deal with my bullshit when they're cutting weight. Like, you know what I mean?
I actually apologized to Chris Duncan. So not this time, but in March when we were going, I can't remember what it was now. I think I jumped on, asked him something about, I was trying to figure out where the fighter hotel was and stuff. And I jumped on, asked him all this shit. And I think his fight, did the person that he was going to fight drop out and he ended up getting somebody else? I can't remember now.
Yeah, he dropped. Yeah.
And I jumped on straight away. I was like, mate, got my tickets, buzzing to be going. Can't wait to see you fight, blah, blah, blah. Is it the fighter hotel that you're staying at? Love to meet you and everything. And then he never responded for a bit. And in that time for me, sending it to him on Instagram and just thinking about it, I was like, do you know what? That was a really fucking selfish thing for me to do. He doesn't even know if he's got a fight yet. He's going through all of this training camp. I mean, he's working his ass off, and all I'm giving a fuck about is who I'm going to meet when I get there. So I actually just reached back to him and just said, look, mate, ignore my last fucking message. And I even said to him, look, really selfish on my part. I'm trying to recognize when I do these things, and I'm trying to just improve it. You know what I mean? And I apologize. And he went, "Well, mate, no worries about it at all." Yeah, I mean, like he was sound as anything about it, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh, mate, I know, I get it. Thanks for being understanding, but I just wanted to just say, well, I'm sorry that I fucking came across that way." Yeah, I mean,
he said he was gonna send me what hotel the fighter hotel was when he gets it, so we could try and arrange something. I don't know if we will. If if he can't do it, it's Thursday's weight cut day, so I totally understand.
It's always the Hilton, mate. Always the Hilton in Canary Wharf. Yeah, and and if you're at the Docklands, mate, you're 2 minutes away from it. I swear to God. But like I say, we'll be there on Saturday anyway. So give me a shout, and I can fucking come and grab you, and we can walk over to it together.
Sounds good.
Mate, that's going on 2 hours now. So I'm gonna wrap this up because
We want to do another 2 hours.
Starving. I don't mind, mate. I can fucking talk for Scotland, mate.
I don't mind. I'm not got anything better to do.
But I'm gonna make me dinner because I've not actually eaten all day because I never even had lunch because we jumped on at 12 with Stevie, and then that ended up going for about almost 3 hours, like I said, which I can't wait for that one to drop, and I really hope people watch it because again, this real good conversation here with you today, mate. But that one with Stevie as well got really deep within like the things that he does as well. So it was an excellent conversation. I need to get the dog out again and all the rest, all the responsibilities that usually come along, mate. And to be honest with you, these things actually tire you out more than you would fucking imagine. Like when you get off, you're like,
and then when you edit it and you upload it.
Oh, well, my editing is add an intro, add an outro, done for my podcast. I just
same for me. Like
raw and put it out.
OBS records my audio funny, so I record both the Zoom and the
Right.
OBS,
Okay.
and then I take the audio from the Zoom.
So do you use NVIDIA or anything like that?
I use the crappy little inbuilt editor that Microsoft gave me.
Nah, fuck that, bro. Right, so I'm still fucking learning. So I think it was Jason Hartley from MMA On Point.
Yeah.
Was telling me about OBS. I jumped on WhatsApp. I just called him on WhatsApp and things, but he helped me out with loads of it, setting it up and how it all works and getting the overlays and all the rest of it. He was a fucking sound guy. So shout out to Jason for that one too. And then a few other people that I know that do Instagram and gaming, streaming, Twitch, all the rest of it. They give me some fucking hints and tips. But one of the ones literally within the last couple of weeks, so I've got 2 webcams on here now because I couldn't get the source to be running from OBS as well as to you through Google Hangouts that we're using. So I messaged one of my friends, have you got a webcam that I could lend? He said, yeah. And he was like, you're using NVIDIA Broadcast? And I was like, no. I don't know what specs your PC are, but there's certain aspects of it that will be able to run and that won't be able to run depending on the specs of your PC. But when you actually look at my video, you see the background's blurred. I can remove the background without a green screen. You can do all this bullshit, but it also has noise suppressors, background noise reduction, all sorts of shit that AI just does for you, and make what a different sound you get. So have a little look at NVIDIA Broadcast. Go and get that downloaded.
I'm lucky, like one of my friends, shout out to Bailey, he's worked at Mr. Beast for a long time.
All right,
editor
okay.
for them. So like he knows his way around editing. So I FaceTimed him and I was because I wanted advice, and he was like, look, this is how you can upgrade your show to make it look more professional and all these things. I still chat to him all the time. I was just playing Fortnite with him the other day.
I'm struggling with thumbnails and all the rest of that shit. I just don't know
with what emails.
Thumbnails, like for your answers, like even yesterday.
I use Pixar on my phone. I actually Bailey made me the template, and then I just kind of put it over the footer picture, add text, and then I connect it. It doesn't have to be like anything intricate, and that's the fun part. It doesn't have to be like crazy thought out, like like the big YouTubers, they always do these like crazy thumbnails, like even Helwani's ones on that. Even Helwani's thumbnail, like it's a screenshot from the interview, and then he just puts that's where I took the inspiration of the thumbnails from, and it's quick, but then like I can focus all my attention on the video, and really like now if you look at my videos, they look really good, in my opinion at least. But and like I just add a little transition thing, so like the interview that's dropping tomorrow, as I said, I did like questions from ChatGPT, and there's a little transition so you can see the questions, and then our 2 heads are up there. So
there's a little really more into transitions that I want to learn about. So what I'm doing with these interviews, it's literally just two box screens, one next to each other.
It's the same mostly for me, but
but I wouldn't mind, because you see people on podcasts, it goes full screen when somebody's talking back out to the other person.
I'm not good enough at editing for that.
I do not know what the fuck to do, but I'm going to learn it. I mean, I'm going to YouTube it. I'm going to figure it out to see how all that works. I mean, but I know some people use a Rodecaster or something like that does it all for them. So it's like AI again, picks up whoever's talking and will focus on that camera. But I think that's usually when the podcasts are happening in the same room. And as you can see, I'm in my fucking living room, so I'm not exactly inviting. I've not got it set up for 2 people. What we're going to do is sit next to me fucking coffee table here and try and run with this. I mean, like the setup just isn't ideal. Hopefully maybe one day, bigger house, another room, spare room, man shed, cave, whatever out in the garden. I can go with that and try and set up a little podcast area.
Set up a studio, and
the ball's rolling with this now, and I'm not
love to have a studio. That would be really sick on it. But the thing is, like for that, like it's hard to get people that you don't know or that don't know you to then come out to the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Especially for me being in landlocked Germany, like no one's going to come to me.
Yeah. So it's always going to need to be a bit of a fucking. Now, like I say, for me, Paul Craig probably isn't going to drive through here and sit down with me when he's got his own podcast and everything else that he's got going on. I think if anybody, I might be able to persuade Chris Duncan to come down for a cup of coffee and a chat, because he, like I say, he's 5 minutes up the road. We've got a lot of mutual friends and stuff as well. So just from being like in this area of Scotland, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, mate, thank you very much for coming on. Like I said it twice already. I cannot believe you're 18 years old, mate. You're absolutely fucking killing it with what you're doing.
Thank you,
I wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you.
Looking forward to see what you've got announced coming up in September. And just keep doing you, bro. Just stay true to what you're doing and just keep killing it.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you, giving me the platform, chatting for 2 hours. Just great to have like a fluid conversation about fights, about what I do, about what you do. Like that's my favorite kind of thing. And hopefully we get to do more. If you ever need a guest, then just let me know.
Man, definitely get you on again in the future. I mean,
And yeah,
as we build that relationship,
and
it would just be more of conversations rather than
exactly.
interview style thing. Yeah, I mean, but before you go, let the people know where to find you. What you've got. Like, obviously, you've already discussed what you're going on, but let them know your platform, socials, all the rest of it, mate.
Yeah, man. Instagram, it's at Patrick McCorry Sports Show. It's pretty easy to find. I think I'm one of a few Patrick McCorrys in the world. So,
yeah,
it's not like you're looking for John Smith or something like,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, you'll find me on there, Patrick McCorry Sports Show, and then on Twitter, Patrick_McCorry. There is a fake account of me someone made. It looks very similar to my app. They just removed one of the R's and they were tweeting racist things.
Right, okay.
I don't think they exist anymore, but don't be confused if you accidentally click on that page. I don't think they used to like update the profile picture and the banner and the
just to copy you and everything. They can.
It was just
Who
like
the fuck has got that amount of time to do that shit?
Racial obscenities and pedophile tweets and things like that.
Sake,
so yeah, trolls are fun.
Fuck.
At Patrick_McCorry, McCorry. Make sure, because a lot of people spell it with one R.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you so much for having me once again. And yeah, take care.
No problem, brother. And I'll catch you in London as well. Definitely going to get meeting up in there.
Sure.
So sweet, bro.
Yep. Take care, man.
Take it easy. Bye.